migrate like across the spectrum of the Germanic tribes, like of old, with my accent.
So like all
It just-
Romania, Austria.
Yeah, it just keeps going from different areas. And every word's different.
All right, so I have to pick a favored enemy.
Yeah, and you get certain bonuses with favorite enemy listed there, and those that can be very useful.
Okay.
For reference.
All
And I
right.
believe they stack with Hunter's Mark too. So
Oh, don't do that to me. I may just have to go over here and drool.
It's not
You
like you're
created
already...
a monster introducing him to rangers.
I didn't introduce him to shit. He picked Ranger. That was his choice. We
All right,
presented
giants.
to him.
There you go, giants.
Giants. Okay,
I could have run across a giant while I was on my travelling to find my vengeance, and then I met you lot, and you all turned me against it, you bastards.
I didn't do anything, if you don't mind me saying.
You were there when I got thrown through a tree.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
but
you know,
I
that
said you
means
shouldn't
get
go
to-
into vengeance.
you get to learn the language that is spoken by that enemy.
Which would be giant. So
Which would be giant. So I could just have giant. Okay, fair enough.
I'll put that in your character.
Thank you very much.
Make sure it's...
Why can't we have what is it? Yeti.
I mean,
Hello,
still love
sir.
that.
Would you like a spot of tea?
Fuck.
I love that
I'll have you know.
I crapped all over that joke. Like just walked all over it. It's great.
Damn it.
Evil
you
man.
now
And I
know
can pick
giant.
another additional favoured enemy when I hit level 6.
So next
Ooh.
level.
Next level.
Oh, hey.
So, and you should be thinking about that now. Like
I am thinking about that now. Yes, I promise you I am.
Well, level 6. We need to be thinking.
Oh
level
no! I'm saying that when he gets to level 6, he should like be categorizing like what he's been fighting most and like for his new favorite enemy when he gets.
Yeah, because I can go for two
I haven't got a warrior
types
yet.
of a particular thing. If I could say bandits, I do well against bandits and things like that because it says
Well,
you
no,
can
it's
do humans.
more
No.
like
It does.
like
It says it's
humanoid.
humanoids.
yeah, so it would be
Yeah, yeah.
humans.
It'd be humanoid, so it'd be like
No.
it'd be
Orcs
so if you
and-
attacked. Well, orcs would be orcs. would
No.
be orcish,
I'm going to
or-
read
Well,
this
they're
now.
considered humanoid.
Oh, they're okay.
according to the
all
book.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but yeah,
So
But yes.
humanoid is kind of any player race, basically.
essentially, yeah. There's probably also a couple other.
Unless you want to be like certain parties and allow custom races where people can play as Flump and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Oh, and you also
Oh.
should start thinking about
isn't
what
it
your other
involved-
terrain you want.
Mhm.
Yeah, isn't it in Enter Elysium and that lot's roll for it? Don't they have a Flump player? Their bard.
I
is
haven't
the
watched
Flump.
their stuff, but either way, we're getting off topic.
We
getting
are.
off topic.
Totally off
We're-
topic.
We are.
A little bit.
When are we
so
ever
who
on
wants to-
topic?
I try my best.
Hot.
But,
Off topic would be a great name for that. You know, we always wanted
our
a name
podcast
for our
already
random
exists.
Oh,
Already
fuck.
exists. There's already a podcast named that. I guarantee it. So, who wants to do the recap for last session?
Who's got the most in-depth notes?
Gerald, if you guys are cool.
Go on.
So we started off last session on the docks of Gorgon, looking for a ship, and we found it, the Strumpet's Cry. We found our Captain Sadina Marisol, and Izamat Bulma, I believe is his name, the giant orc who was with her, the captain and
just-
first mate.
It's just Bonla.
Oh yeah, it's first mate Bonla. Sorry. We learned about Prelon the Pious / Pillager before his turn to redemption. He's a follower of Ilmatur. He was a captain of the. God, my handwriting is so bad I can't read it. He basically was a captain for one of He was a captain working the Silvershands trading company, and he was caught essentially along with what's his name.
Thingy the Red.
Yes. Galifar the Red. He was working with Galifar the Red. He got caught, was sentenced. Took the route of redemption instead of being sentenced to death. focused all of his life on that was buried on the Jade Isles, and apparently there is a set of scales there, the scales of, oh god, my handwriting yet again. They're nondescript scales made of silver in Pelon the Pisces 2, and that's the job we've been hired for, of course.
Scales of unbalance, does that say?
Injustice.
Of
Misjudgment.
misjudgment.
Ah.
Yeah, the scales of misjudgment. And we ended up taking a boat ride towards the Jade Isles. Took us about a day and a half, I believe. We got there, and we very quickly discovered that the island was dead quiet. Not a thing to be heard. No birds, no squirrels, nothing. We found some picked clean bones that, in order to be so picked clean and bleached in the sun, they had to have been picked clean by a scavenger, which was when Isaac noticed a very strange-looking individual watching the party in the distance, and we very quickly decided we should probably go find the captain. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
just to clarify
Anybody
for
wanna add
Utari,
anything?
yeah, we have been hired. The people that were looking for us weren't negative on us. We have sussed out as so they actually offered us the job. We're acting as mercenaries, and the crew of the ship didn't like that. But the captain thought she needed some extra mercenaries to go onto the island because she didn't think her crew could handle it. She needed some more specialized expertise because there is this creature which I believe is rumored to be called the Sunken Man or something along those lines, which is the thing that Isaac in character noticed watching us, and we've gone, we should probably regroup.
You don't know what it is.
Yeah, we suspect
Well,
it's that.
it fits the description that we've been giving of this this creature, of this one survivor after this island was cursed by this priest of Mordant, who which has caused a lot of this. It's hard to say corruption because everything is so lusciously green, but nothing else is living here. And we found lots of, but we found lots of skeletons and things with teeth marks over them.
The other thing you found out was during this. The other thing you found out was that Pelon the Pious was when he was called Pelon the Pillager. He was a lieutenant, a captain of a ship underneath Galifar the Red, who was a famous pirate who raided and pirated and plundered the Silver Sand Trade Company operations in the gold in the Bay of Gold about 25-ish years ago, plus or minus a couple of years. But he was caught after Galifar and his whole operation was destroyed just off the coast of this island, and the island itself was scoured of all life, or at least that's what official, and it was the Silver Sand Company paid a Moradin priest to curse the land itself. Pelon the Pious was captured a couple of years later, or pillager, and he then became a redemptor. You learned about redemptors as a thing, because nobody here except for Isaac knew about them, really. I don't... No, I think Arwan knew as well. He knew a bit. But essentially, Ilmater is a bigger god in the north, like the First Kingdoms, and essentially it's a individual that, instead of taking the death penalty or life in prison, decides to take an oath to balance their souls before they leave this mortal coil. They're essentially like paladin that try to balance the soul of all the bad they've done with good things and deeds, however they feel they can do so. And you also found out that one of the individuals on the ship that you are currently that you were on to hired to aid was a redemptor, which name was
Trindle.
Trindle. Yes, Trindle. Who was a very tall, lean, lanky man. But yeah, when you arrived at the Jade Isles, you Bonla, you, the party, Bonla and Tilden, or Trindle, boarded a longboat, or like a small boat to the shoreline to try and make sure that it was clear for the ship to get closer, as the captain wanted to set up an area to kind of what would be like a perimeter on the shoreline. So yeah, and obviously everything else at that point you went through. You found a couple of bones that had been picked through. Looked like marks on these bones. They died and seemingly haven't been moved. Like they're in these positions that are kind of somewhat mundane, or like mid doing something. Like you've seen them, they're just like leaning up against a wall, but the skeleton is, there's no meat, connective tissue or anything like that. They're all just kind of like leaning and staying still. There's some that are on the ground, kind of just like holding. You found one that was looking like it was mid trying to get over like a wall. That kind of stuff. Also, I forgot one detail, because you did get a medical check that was big enough for this. You found when you looked through your skeleton, it was missing one bone. Specifically, the one that you found was missing one of its small ribs.
Dun, dun, dun.
So also noticed that the creature had no nose as well, like it had been carved off. Or
Yeah, if you want a description, because like I tried to give a description, but I'll redo it. Yeah, it's an oddly proportioned humanoid that you saw. Its eyes are very sunken into what seems to be the skeletal features of the skull, but the skin is still there, but it's like stretched over, like it's like a size too small or something like that, and then the eyes are sunken in. There's no noticeable nose, but it is bloodied and kind of like scabbed. But there's also like a cut from the tip of the, like where the top of the nose would like go into the face, all the way up and keeps going. It just kind of goes in that straight line across, like bisecting the head. But it looks like it's kind of not healed over, because it doesn't look healed, but it's not bleeding or anything. The arms are a little bit too long and the legs are a little bit too short. So like the arms kind of sink a little bit too low in comparison with the hips, and you can definitely tell that the legs aren't the right proportions from what you saw, and it's wearing a whole bunch of, you didn't get a lot of detail, but just a mismatch of a whole bunch of random stuff that it's wearing on itself, and that's all you got before it did its little knees bent forwards, got onto four legs, and just started skittered very, very quickly into the darker recess of the forest, under the shadows, and it was moving at a very good clip. You think it would be
much faster than we are.
Much faster. Oh yeah, it could run you down without
like
much
60
problem.
feet of movement.
But yeah, that's what you got. So hopefully you understand what happened, Utari, from last session.
For the most part.
Yeah.
All the important things that Justinian needs to know is that they've been hired to kill things.
Yes.
Hired to kill thing while Captain searches the tomb of a dead pirate for this scales item.
Unimportant to him.
Oh no, it's important because we're allowed to take anything else we find.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
now
if we
it's
find
become
something we can take.
mildly more important.
But yeah.
The importance has risen on the scale in his book. Well, actually, we keep things
On the
okay,
scales of
interesting.
misjudgment, you could say.
But yes. So yeah, we left off with that thing skittering away.
And Isaac going, we should find the captain.
And we all bolted to find the captain.
Yep.
Yeah, none of you saw it, by the way. Like, by the time you look up, it's out of line of sight.
I'm one for trusting Isaac, though, so let's go.
I explained to
you're-
them while we run what I saw.
Okay, so you're running back down the little hill that you were climbing up.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
level that down the inclined path and into the town again.
Yep.
Okay. Are you like running, or are you like doing like
They're running slow enough so Arwen can keep up.
Uh,
So we're
Tom
taking
with
a
the-
break
I think Arwen and-
every 10 yards. We're taking a break, for half an hour so he can catch up.
I just take
one of
Arwen
those-
up by the scruff of his neck.
Basically, because every time we pass a
are
female-looking skeleton, he's going, ooh, interesting.
Oh, oh.
Ooh.
No, we are opening of Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers-ing it. So the rest of the party are like doing a pretty good job, like jogging, whilst R1's at the back, like. so
Booking it.
Sprinting.
yeah,
Doing his best
Alright.
Gimli impression and
yeah.
short distances. Okay. So yeah, you start going back down the path. And again, you're passing the skeletons that you saw previously when you were going all in the same spots. Last you were told, the group of 4 others that came ashore, which was the captain, first mate, Trindle, and a crewman.
Who's wearing red shirt.
They were going into like the kind of deeper part of the more densely structured settlement. So give me a let's say a perception check. If you want to say you're all looking, I'll let one person get advantage, or you can all roll if you want.
Whoever's
Everyone
got the
roll.
highest perception roll.
7.
No, whoever's got the highest perception.
I think that's tied between me and R1 at 7, right?
Yeah. So say R1 gives
We just give
Sesh advantage.
Sash advantage. Yeah.
Okay, so advantage, perception.
I'm an
Oh
investigator,
damn,
not
that's
a
a natural
perceptor.
20.
There we are, 27, starting us off for today.
That's it, we're screwed in battle.
Yep.
You're fucked, boys.
Roach's
is tradition.
creature is gonna like TPK us.
We'll see.
This paladin's gonna have some sort of spiritual weapon that's gonna throw something at me.
So you start moving towards the denser part of the settlement, and Sesh, you're able to spot pretty quickly the path that this group of 4 took to go in, and it looks like they went kind of building to building for a bit until you see like the end of the trail. It's a little bit down a roadway. And out in front, you see Trindle, the crewman, and Bonla all standing next to each other. And like Bonla and Tilden are talking, making some gestures towards the half-destroyed church that's in kind of the center portion of the town, and like making some gestures at that. And you're at the end of the street. When you're able to spot them, so you're going like it's like 2 or 3 streets, and you crossed one, and you're able to like very quickly, there they are, and make the turn.
Yep.
You're moving towards them now. So yeah, as you go towards them, it looks as if Bonla and the crewman start walking towards you, while Trindle is just kind of standing next to a doorway. It's like it's like not as bad of a shack as some of the other ones, but just kind of like standing next to a doorway, and doesn't seem to be doing anything there.
Sesh actually just shouted at him to get away from the doorway.
No, I don't
She's
think
not.
it's the best
She's
thing to do.
entirely unsure of whatever's here. But if it's sneaky enough to avoid all of us, bar Isaac, it's a problem.
It's over to you, and see him kind of maybe looks like he's saying something into the doorway, into like the room in the shack.
No, there's someone in
Uh,
there. All right.
Well, yeah, you don't see the cap in this group.
I'd assume there's
so-
someone inside then, because he's talking to somebody.
Either way, you're able to kind of like intersect with Bonla and this crewman as you kind of like half jog and one member sprint up to these guys. Yeah. And Bonla, tall son of a bitch, broad-shouldered, muscled the hell, and he's got his axe out. It's like this big, war axe that he's been carrying this whole time, but it's out, though it's not like at a ready combat position. And he kind of holds up his arm, his big, like fuck off hands to signal you to kind of slow down. Yeah, essentially.
We do so.
Yeah.
What? Whoa! What's the problem?
It seems we are indeed not alone on the island. We saw a creature scouting us, and we thought it best that we regroup.
Well, you haven't seen anything. Sure.
It
you're not
was-
just getting-
It
sure you're
was
not just
on.
seeing things.
I am certain I am not. It was on the hill and it ran back into the forest towards, well, essentially where we need to go. I thought I'd come and report before we head that way, because we do need to.
I pull out the bone that I took from one of the skeletons. You see any dead bodies or sorry. Did you see any dead bodies around here? Skeletons bleeding in the sun.
Yeah.
Did you take a look at them?
Yes. Quite a few. It's kind of hard to miss. Kind of points over to one of them, and there's like there's one that looks to be holding a bucket, like on the ground, sitting next to the like a half destroyed well, and it's got a bucket in its
Is it
hand.
also missing the small rib?
No. Give me a perception check.
Investigation?
Perception.
Well,
Investigate. You're just looking at it. Investigation. You have to take time.
Okay.
this is where you roll a 1.
It's a
No.
17.
No, this one isn't missing a small rib, though it is seemingly missing like 2 of the bits of its fingers, like different bones in
Okay.
its fingers.
One of the knuckles, essentially, or 2.
No, like
yeah,
I
like
forget
the
what this-
segmented parts of your fingers.
Yeah, random bits of those.
Okay.
That one's that could have just been eaten by any animal. So you can't say if that one's been taken as a trophy, like I'm expecting the other bit has, but it could be quite likely. Does it have the
quite a-
same?
Hmm?
Does it have the same sort of claw and mark things on the bone? Can I pick up a
with the
bone and see?
With a 17, I'll let you. Yeah, you're able to see it's got these like that incredibly fine crisscrossing like cut patterns all
Yeah.
across every single bone.
If you look, I assume then if you've looked at the skeletons, you'll also have noticed the crisscross patterns on all the bones, and most of them are missing parts, clearly created by a creature.
Nodding its head. Of course we have. We're not idiots.
Exactly. So, do you still doubt that I saw something?
I don't know.
Where's the captain?
Kind of points back. She found a journal in one of the huts. Taking a read. Me and Wilhelm here are going to be heading up to the church. We're going to see if one of the floors on the what used to be the bell tower is still intact near the top. We're going to see if we can get a good look around from up high. Why don't you go tell the captain what you saw, and she'll make a judgment call on what needs to be done. Gruffly keeps walking, and this, now you know the name, Wilhelm. Willem is this scrawny 20-something guy, and he's like carrying a converted fish spear.
Okay, so we've got Wilhelm with a harpoon.
Essentially.
If this guy doesn't get thrown off something and screams, I'm gonna be really upset.
You just hear a scream in the distance. It's Wilhelm, no.
Oh, he had such an important role in this. He was my favourite of the sailors.
Rip Wilhelm.
But yeah, gruffly, Bonla kind of moves past you and continues down. Though you do notice he's carrying his axe a little bit more on the ready.
Okay.
You go talk to the
Okay.
captain, Isaac. We'll keep an eye out.
Okay. I go and find the captain.
All right, you approach, and Trendle is standing outside of this kind of old hut. He's got a hand on the pommel of his sword, and seems to be like scanning around, and notices when you come up, and does kind of like the I acknowledge your presence like nod. Like, and then
The upward sort of
yeah,
sharp.
yeah,
yeah.
that one, yeah, and then
Right.
continues, continues scanning, as if he's just on guard here.
I knock and say, Captain Mercel? It's Mercel, right?
Marisol.
Marisol.
I missed an I. Captain Marisol.
Isaac, come in, please. And you can see she's got a candle that's lit on a desk, and there's a kind of ratty old leather-bound book that she's exactly like that. Yeah. Some very very old parchment pages, kind of crinkling, and she's turning between them, and she gives a kind of that wave forward as she's going through and reading this. Found an interesting journal.
I discovered
Excited.
something of interest myself.
Oh,
I believe the stories of the creature to be true. I saw it with my own eyes. It was scouting us from the ridgeline.
what did it look like?
The creature was very humanoid at first, but the eyes were sunk further into the skull than you'd expect. The skin was very tight to the bone. It looked rather emaciated, and it also had a missing nose. The nose area was missing and scabbing over, like it almost removed it in an accident, or itself maybe. It was haunched over. I'm trying to think. Are like Neanderthals something that we would know about in sort of? I'm just trying to think as a descriptor. Is that a thing that was in this fantasy
No,
world?
no,
I need to
not
ask
really.
that. on the DM level.
Not really.
Okay.
Evolution's not
Like
necessarily
apes,
a thing.
apes are a thing.
Yeah, you've heard of ape creatures and like Zeral, like southern Zeral, so they have those there. So yeah,
And
monkeys
it
are more of a thing in like Rapkas and some of the other
okay,
continents.
yeah,
that-
and
so-
it stood more like a great monkey than it did a human, but it moved, and it moved fast, and it moved inhumanly on its joints. Instead, the joints went forward, and it moved on all fours, and when it noticed that I noticed it, it fled into the forest towards where where I'm expecting we need to go.
opens another page in the journal. Her back's to you. That sounds about right. And then she does again, another little, like, forward. She wants you to come forward
Yeah,
and
I go
moves to the
forward.
side. And she points to a passage in the journal she's reading. What languages do you speak?
I speak. Let me go to my main, my skills, but no, my abilities page. I speak Celestial, Common, Draconic, and Dwarvish.
Okay, you can read this because it's in Dwarvish.
Okay.
And this seems to be a journal of an individual, a woman named Mary. And the passage is it's not dated, but it's detailing a. I like the prop. Yeah, that's good. It seems to be detailing, and it doesn't seem like she's a part of the original settlement. You kind of like you turning through. This seems to be like she came here later with a group, and as you're kind of paging through to like resettle the place, but after like 4 or 5 days, things started going wrong. They weren't able to find game on the island. Nothing was coming out of the ocean. They had to go like miles out for fishing. Water was foul tasting. And then one night,
that goes accordance with the curse put on by the priest of Morden, I'd suspect.
possibly.
Okay.
I mean, you don't know any details specifically, but and then you can page through, and then one day, one of the individuals that was going out into the forest to get firewood didn't come back, and then they found his skeleton fused into a tree. And then the next night, somebody else was gone. And it just kind of keeps detailing that people kept going missing, being found dead, and then keep going. It's good, like maybe 7 or 8 days worth of journal entries between the start of this and the end of this. And then the last one is just we're all alone, and now it's outside. I can hear it at the door. And then the description is fairly similar, which is a hunched over, emaciated human. She calls it the ghost.
Oh, the ghost.
No, she calls it the ghost. But like it's described as it's takes people, then their bones are left, and just things like that. Really, very broad in terms of what it does or why it's doing it, but the description of it is pretty similar. It's almost exact.
Yes, that does seem to track with what I saw.
Well, it's going to take us, especially without any game or water in the island, a few days to get to where the tomb is. We're going to have to bring crew ashore with supply.
I believe most of my companions will have rations enough for themselves on them. I personally carry 2 weeks' rations on myself.
2 weeks worth of water?
I can make water.
We have a cleric that makes water.
Seth just pops her head in.
I can make
Through the
like 10
window,
gallons of water. It's cool.
Our cleric can produce water. So if you would prefer to lessen the risk to your crew, maybe leaving them on board the ship might be a better idea. As it seems that most of your combatants will already be with us. I would hate for the creature to negate us and affect your crew.
Well, Tilden, or Trindle. I keep saying Tilden. Tilden's another. Yeah, it's a completely other NPC.
It's another NPC. We've come across Tilton as well, haven't we?
I think so. Yeah.
Familiar
yeah,
name.
yeah.
It's a
Sounds
similar
familiar.
name, and it's it's a similar name, and it's thrown me. Trindle will be staying here to guard the boats. She points to a section in the journal that she kind of skimmed over, but around the fifth day after things started heating up and people started going missing, Mary details that they found their boats in pieces on the shoreline. Their the main boat that came in with and their fishing boats that they had been using just kind of shredded, like all of the wood ripped apart kind of thing, is the way to describe this. So I think it'd be prudent to have a contingent in the old settlement, at least for a fallback point, as we will be having to go through the forest footpath, at least for a good portion of our journey.
I think it'd
Fair
be
enough,
prudent to leave
Desmond.
more than one person with the boats. Just saying.
That's why I'm not only
Very
Trindle,
sure.
but there's going to be crew brought ashore that'll guard them and make sure nothing happens. I don't feel perfectly comfortable setting out tonight, or setting out this afternoon. I think it would be better if we brought ashore a few individuals and made camp tonight.
Can I do a perception check for a building that looks defensible?
I think that's what they're suggesting the church, aren't they? That's why I'm thinking of going to check it.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's they were describing the church as a good place to get a vantage. They were hoping that because like the bell tower's broken at midway up, but they're trying to figure out if like the floor to like one of the floors up the bell tower is near that breakpoint, so they can use it as kind of like a watchtower. You're muted, Chris. Crimson.
We landed on a beach, right?
Yeah. I mean, it is a beach because it is where the land meets the water, but it's a rocky like beach. It's very Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, no. I was just trying to think of something.
See if there was any tracks in the sand.
No, I was just thinking they could build the camp on the beach above the high tide mark and just build like dig a trench and put some like thorn bushes or something like that, and build a little wall there, because that would be defensible. They can get to their boats quicker.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because, Sesh town guard, she knows protecting
Yeah.
things. So
The thing that concerned me the most was the speed that this creature moved at. Far faster than most land animals I've seen. So even if someone does manage to track it visually, they might have a trouble hitting it.
So you're kind of contemplative looking, kind of not at anything in particular, just thinking. But Trindle kind of leans over as now like a couple of individuals are getting in on this conversation. Trindle leans in at Captain. Maybe it would be prudent to vacate the island for the night. Anchor offshore. Come ashore tomorrow. Fresh eyes and a new day.
It's not a bad idea.
All right. We'll do that. We'll finish our survey of the settlement and then leave for the day with the ship anchored offshore, a bit of a ways, not too far. I'd like to be able to have a watch, keep an eye on the shoreline. And then tomorrow we'll bring ashore a contingent for the settlement while we are gone, and begin our journey deeper into the island itself. Any objections? And she's looking specifically. She's looking at your group, not at Trindle. So, just standing next to her.
I think Trindle's words are wise.
Agreed.
Then it's settled. Closes this leather-bound journal and begins walking out of the hut. Trindle directly behind her. And by the way, when the candle's still lit, so now there's light in here. There is a skeleton in here that is like in a rotted bed, and again, just a
What's missing?
okay, straight out with it. I'm gonna say, yeah, you're knowing to look for it now. Missing a few of its not the bones in its toes, but like a little, like the equivalent of like the bones in like the palm, but for the feet.
Oh, well, yeah, I know the ones. Mm-hmm.
Metallos or
Missing a couple
Patellas
of
or
those.
Yeah.
Metacastles.
Yeah,
Nutella.
Yeah, that one.
just missing a couple of those. No real rhyme or reason, just a couple here and there.
It's taking different bones from each body. Why?
Maybe
it'd be
it's
obvious.
taking pieces of its own body.
I've dealt with people of I've assisted on cases involving serial murderers, and sometimes they took trophies. I don't know if creatures do the same, but maybe it's something to do with that. But normally it would be similar bones, but these are from all over the body.
Maybe he trying to build a whole collect.
I've
You
seen
know,
weirder things. Right.
like crazy people have crazy ideas. Well, it sounds like crazy idea. Why don't I collect pieces to make my own full skeleton? Collect the set.
There are crazy cultists and such back in the Grey Wastes that might have tried such a thing. Mostly for necromantic intentions, though.
Interesting.
Talking about crazy ideas. What if we camped on the island tonight?
Us?
Yes, us. Because it would give us the best chance. Hear me out. I know it's a crazy idea. It would give us the best chance to just outright
Die?
face this thing. No, not die. You're a wonderful shot, and you have that new bow that makes you see things better, or however it works.
I see where you're going with this. You want, because this is an environment we already kind of know, you want us to fight it here rather than going into the unknown and getting ambushed.
Well, that, and if we can get it over with, I don't want this thing following me around. I'd rather get it over with
He
now.
wants us to be bait.
No,
And
not
face it now.
well. Yes, in theory, bait. But one, those poor sods who can't fight nothing aren't gonna die.
In the passages I read, Roche, it said specifically that it didn't attack straight away, correct?
It didn't seem to. They'd been on the island for like 2 or 3 days before an individual went missing.
I don't think it would attack us tonight anyway.
And specifically, the individual that went missing when he went into the forest to get firewood. Though there was seemingly a pattern as it started coming closer and closer to the settlement with what it killed.
If
or
it
what
wanted,
it captured.
if it wanted to kill us or attack us, it would have done it right away. It ran away, correct?
No.
Oh,
You're
I
assuming.
didn't see it.
Off of
I'm-
one
okay,
piece of information, you have nothing to back it up with. You have no idea what this thing will do.
Okay. This creature was here long enough for people to settle for a while. It viewed
Yes.
us and ran away.
No. You're assuming it ran away. It could have withdrawn, knowing it was outnumbered and had lost the element of surprise. We already know that this thing takes people. It's known as a ghost.
It only takes people when they're on their own, though. They
Yes.
just seem to attack people in big groups, and it
Not
also
until it
seemed
got
to be.
comfortable.
And again, you're making
Well-
a very large assumption.
Is
That
what I'm
is
gonna
one
say.
I
of
don't
them.
think it. I'm one to agree with Rival. I don't think it ran. I think it realized it got caught and decided to come back a different day. It wouldn't be unusual for predators to do something like that, and this seems like a very.
No,
predatory
it's what I'm trying to get to
thing.
is it's going to test our strength and weaknesses for a while.
So we deny it information.
Give it less time to study us.
What? So you think not staying here?
Not staying here.
Yeah, I think I completely agree.
Roach is frozen.
Well, Roach does that occasionally. He just decides he wants to stop and make us believe that he's actually not frozen.
Just-
It's like,
I just don't
No,
want this
we're
thing
not
following
staying.
us. Hey,
not-
fine. I wasn't looking forward to staying.
You want to stay? You stay, okay? We'll pick up your
I was
bones in the
Not
morning.
weirdest- It's not the
Justinia,
most
what do you think?
outlandish idea I've heard.
Justinia?
Justinia, what do you think?
Justinia?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
now we
Yeah.
can, yeah.
I say we stay.
Oh, that's 2 to 3.
I didn't say I wanted to stay. I was just suggesting it as an idea, so we could get this thing out of the way. Because I don't like this. The fact, from what I've heard, I didn't see it, but it walking on all fours but standing like a human, fucked up face. I don't want this thing following me, especially because it's faster than me by a hell of a lot. If you're worried it's faster than you.
Rivallon is right, though. No one can confirm or deny that this is the only one. We've seen one.
We have no information to work off other than what Isaac's seen and what he's read. That's it. Now, if this thing is studying us, we deny it information until we're ready to give it to it. Preferably with a lot of big, sharp objects and fireballs and stuff right to the face.
Speaking of big sharp objects, I hand Justinia a silvered longsword and a pair of hand axes.
Oh yeah, we bought you something that we could, if we came up against something undead, that you'd be effective against it.
Can we make a move
Oh,
because there's
My
dice
friends, you
rolling?
remembered my birthday. I am so pleased. I am very humble for these gifts. Thank you.
I got you the hand axes because I used to have to deal with raiders tossing axes forward before they ran in hoping to crack shields. I thought maybe you'd appreciate the idea.
I am very touched. You are a good friend. Thank you.
I try.
Can we
Today's the
leave? There's
10th,
dice rolling.
right?
All these ghost dice just flopping about on the screen.
Today is, yes, the 10th.
God's rolling dice.
Captain Lee.
That's never a good sign.
No, it's
When
not.
The DM is typing a lot and rolling.
Did the captain leave?
Can
I
you guys hear
imagine
me?
we were walking and talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Can he not hear us?
Can you? Hello.
He's
Can't
gone.
hear us.
He's back.
Could you hear
Can
us?
you hear us now?
I mean, yeah, I could hear you, but I think I was delayed by a lot because there was a thing. So like, I rolled dice like 10 minutes ago. And then
Oh
you
my
started
God.
this thing, so, like,
Oh.
We're
I
screwed.
mean, I was in time. I was hearing you, but yeah.
Oh, that. Yeah. No, you did pause for a good 3 minutes. So.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are we dead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I rolled dice.
No.
But no, to answer Crimson's thing, yeah, it's the 10th. It's the 10th in game. Did the captain leave? They kind of hung out outside for a bit. Though she started walking off towards the church area.
Okay.
Trendle kind of leaned back, he's midway point, and said, meet us on the shore next to the boat. You are done with whatever it is you're doing." She walks away.
I guess we go back to the docks.
Well, we never did finish searching up where we were supposed to search.
Are we going to bother now, though, knowing that this thing is here and we're leaving for the moment?
Well, we might find information that might be helpful up there. And since Isaac's convinced the creature's not going to come attack us, we might as well.
I'm less so convinced now that Rival has been adamant otherwise.
Well, and if it does attack us, we'll have a chance to strike back at it. Just don't go anywhere alone.
Yes, because it'll stand in the middle of the street and go, "Come on, then have a go if you think you're odd enough." It won't attack us from the
Come
back.
towards me, brethren. Come towards me.
Just don't go anywhere by yourselves.
Just rocky psych up music as this thing like folds its arms back up and starts jogging.
Alright, so you're heading back up to the
Apparently so.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
we're gonna do a last bit of scouting and then we're gonna.
Yeah,
go
we'll
out.
let's do a sweep of the town between us and the boats, and we'll meet them at the boats.
All right, don't get outside of 30 feet of me then.
Yeah, because you've got the perception bow. thing,
I
haven't
have the bow of Spidey sense.
You with a spider bow.
give me a perception check, everybody.
Perception check.
That's worrying.
First dice roll of the night for me.
Oh my god. It's all Mikey's fault.
20.
16.
18.
10.
Okay.
Don't I get a bonus because of my Spidey bow?
No, well, yeah, you get a bonus. You can't be surprised.
Great.
Yeah. So you begin kind of like a sweep through the area that you're going towards the beach, and you see a lot of destroyed buildings or kind of broken down old huts of various different designs, very similar to the rest of the settlement that you've seen. Couple more skeletons here and there in various different positions and poses, but again, pretty similar to the other skeletons that you found. Each one of them missing some sort of bone on them. All of them different for the most part. One of them's missing like 2 vertebrae. Another one's missing one of its tibia. Just kind of random thing. One of them's missing the bone for like the kneecap. Is just gone.
Talia? Really?
Yeah, whatever the bone for the kneecap is, just missing that part specifically.
Patella.
Gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know because
So all
mine's
those
not
sort of-
actually attached.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That sucks. Yeah, I know what to say.
Yeah. But yeah, just stuff like that. As you're going through. Let's see here. Yeah, Ustenia. You're walking on kind of like you're walking with the group. You're doing your normal thing, keeping an eye out, being kind of the eyes and ears, the guide, even if it is kind of weird. This is a weird place for you. Just it's nature, but there's no nature here. It's the plants are here, but there's nothing. There's no birds, bugs, animals of any sort ever since you set foot on here. Everything's gone. It's just plant. Which is weird because even in the plains, there's something. There's always something. There's like bugs, even in the and like the tall grasses, like, but nothing here. So you're kind of skeeved out by that. But as you're going through with your roll, kind of off to the right of the formation that you're all kind of going down this street, you hear a couple of like shifting timbers, maybe 40 or 50 feet off to the right. There's some like weight's been put on something and shifted a little bit, and it's just very, very slight, but it's over there now.
I start looking around very suspiciously. Very suspiciously. I'm on edge, quite visibly so to the party.
Is he within 30 feet of me?
He is within 30 feet of you, yes.
Right, because that
sound is
means
about
yeah, but that means
50
he gets
feet
a
out.
30-foot radius around him that you can't be surprised in. That's the way it
I don't think
works.
that does- I don't.
Yes,
I
it
don't-
does. That's the way
I
you
don't-
explained it.
No, I think he. No, I
No,
think
it's a
if he's
30-foot.
within that 30 foot,
And
you
it,
cannot be surprised.
yes,
Which
So
means as
Yes, but
the
by
30
things with 30 feet
around
of him.
you.
It's
Nah.
still within
Yeah.
your. It doesn't chain. It doesn't like
Alright.
chain like if you could be.
No, as in it can't pass on, but the sense goes that extra 30 feet, I think is what he's getting at. Because
So,
it would be, you wouldn't get any use from it if you were at the far extent of the 30 foot, and it just
Well, let me
allows you to
double-
sense
let me double
within
check.
that circle. I
Yeah,
think I
let me
know
double
where I
check.
was going with that, yeah.
Bow of warning.
With an 18, do I definitely notice that Ustinia is, as you put it, skeeved out?
That
mhm.
boy skeeved.
According to this, in addition, you and any of your allies, any of your companions within 30 feet of you can't be surprised.
oh, okay, fair enough then.
That is how the
You
wording
can't be
goes.
surprised.
Okay.
You just can't be. Yeah, you just can't be surprised within that 30 feet of you, which is still useful.
Oh, absolutely, because it means he
So-
can't be surprised.
Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't do that. That would actually be kind of OP because if you were able to.
No, it
kinda
wouldn't!
change it'd be a little OP. You could extend that,
Things
but
in Dungeons and
technically,
Dragons, being
technically, you
overpowered,
could
never.
if that's how it worked, you could extend a no surprise range to a 90-foot like line or like a 90-foot X, or even
Yes.
more
Yes.
depending on how you spaced out people. It would be that'd be super.
Well, no, it'd be
OP.
60 foot.
It'd be like a
Based-
five. It'd be like
Well, no,
a 5
I'm talking
on a
about two
die.
people on either side of you, and then
Yeah, it'd
they
be like a
extend
5
30
on a
feet out.
die.
Yeah,
You could
So
go
you-
all the way to a 5 on a die. Like,
yeah.
because if it was
you look
30
like-
at each corner, and then it would be a further
Yeah,
30.
you're
so
quartering
have
with like 4 people.
100, so it would be a 90 square, 90 foot
Yeah.
square of sense.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, oh yeah, that'd be super OP. It's just like going through like a dungeon. It's just
We can sense the entire town between us, and then all you need is everyone to be able to use the message spell, the
Oh, yeah.
cantrip message, and just send a message to each other for 120 feet and go boom.
God damn. Yeah, it'd be like a radar net.
Yeah.
Welcome to
Oh,
Radar in
gr-
Fantasy
Great
Settings.
idea. Great idea though for a fucking set of wizards. Like,
Oh,
like
yeah.
an army
Oh, yeah.
sends out some radar wizards. Just-
Divining rods. But yeah, no, it's
No,
it's
but
only
you can't-
according to the way it's written. It's
they
it's only
stand
30
on
feet
the
within your
bow of
thing,
that
so-
airship design we talked about.
Oh yeah.
Me and Roach came up with a what's it called, like a
Fantasy
an
carrier,
air-
a wyvern
fa-
carrier.
a wyvern carrier, like an aircraft carrier for wyverns. So now if you have these guys
God.
radar as well.
Which is the most badass, stupid, nerdy thing I've ever like thought of. Okay, yeah, Ustenia, you're looking out, and even with your 20%, and by the way, yes, you immediately recognize that Ustenia's on edge.
Okay, cool.
Isaac. But Ustenia, you look out, you don't see shit. Like, I mean, you see things, but you don't see anything moving. Like, it is a dead
I
island.
noticed. Is he looking in like one place in particular?
It's looking in a general direction.
Okay, I dart my attention that way, and because I kind of know what I'm looking for, do I see anything?
Make a perception check.
Natural
Oh.
20!
Ooh,
Yeah.
22.
22. You don't see anything.
Oh no! Oh!
Because natural 20s don't work in skills, remember?
They don't work in skills, and
But
that
that's a
wasn't
20
enough.
plus 2, so it's a 20.
Yeah. Hey,
God.
yeah, it was.
And it's better. It's just better than you. I'm sorry to tell you this, Isaac, but it's just better than you.
Yeah. That was a natural 20 plus 2 for that roll, and I'm just gonna make sure that so I can't be blamed for this. I'm just gonna take a picture of this dice roll that I got.
It's also a natural 20, 100%.
No, I probably got a 19 plus 7 on stealth or something like
Yeah,
that.
something like
Which
that.
makes it
Maybe.
like a 26, like...
I could have beaten that with a natural 20.
Yes, you could have, but I'm not you.
So yeah, you
I
guys
know.
don't see anything. All you got, Ustenia, was a shifting, the sound of a shifting timber, and when you looked over there in the general direction, you didn't see anything.
I'm gonna
And
miss
I-
every spell tonight, by the way, guys. This is
And
how
Isaac,
this
yeah,
works.
that's just funny. And then Isaac, you look over, kind of like alerted by Ustenia's alertness, which alerts you more. Chain alerts. But you think you've got it, like your eagle eyes, just like going by, but you don't see anything. Like it is weird how still everything is here. Like, do you notice that? You notice it's almost like the air stops moving. It's kind of
Question: do I feel anything magical?
magical.
Yeah, like as someone who's like quite in tune with the flow of magic in the universe, can I Arcana check to feel if there's like a slight magic in the air? Or anything like that?
Technically, this is how
Magic in
Arcana
the
checks
air.
should work.
Well, no,
but
Arcana checks are to divine what school of magic I can sense. Or
that
something.
kind of stuff. Yeah, you'd need
Yeah.
like detect magic to see if there's like magical essence in the area.
Anyone know detect
um,
magic?
The bard.
Arwen does.
I suggest to Arwen. It is absurdly quiet, and I've taken my attention away from dangerously from the area that Ustinia was looking.
I'm assuming you're
and
still walking. Like you're still
Yeah.
mobile, but you're just. flying away.
I turn to Arwen and say, if this place was cursed by a priest of Morden, it's quite likely that he used some sort of magic on the area. Do you have any way that you can maybe sense that?
I can try. And I will cast Detect Magic.
Okay, so Arawan, and because the way the tech magic works is essentially just it's like a HUD overlay over your normal
Yeah.
vision that kind of like goes over there, and then you can detect where magical things are within your range. So essentially, you just kind of you get a melody in your head, and you close your eyes and you kind of cast the spell, and you've done it a whole bunch of times, and then you open your eyes like you normally would to see magic, and it's like high beams are in you. It's like
It's like night vision in daytime.
it's like
Yeah,
night
I'm
vision
like
in daytime, and then you got like so there's like an audible. So like you see everyone else like Arwan's just doing his normal thing, and he's casting a spell. You've all heard it before at this point, but you all see him visibly like just like as he opens
I
his eyes.
instantly
and casts the
jump
spell.
around like readied just to make a spell if I need to because
It's like that hill in that Arma 3 game.
Oh, God.
Oh,
with
God.
the flashbangs essentially.
Flashback with night vision on is just
Tinnitus Hill.
retina.
Yeah, this is but it takes you a little while, R1, for things to like your vision to adjust, kind of, because it's like and when everybody else sees you, like your pupils are pinpricks on your eyes, just like the reverse of being dilated, just like going through.
I'm fine.
And that what is that?
All of us are kind of staring at R1 like either he slipped himself something or It's
All of the drugs
or
just kicked in at
or
the
it's
same time.
highly magical.
Detect Good and Evil gives you or not Detect Good and Evil, Detect Magic gives you that. Does that tell you? I forget what that spell specifically does. Does that tell you the school of magic or the?
Yes.
Okay.
Just gonna whisper all the info to him, just because. Wow.
My
Oh, no,
eyes are burning.
I'll say it aloud. I'm not fucking.
Oh,
He ain't
God.
no bitch.
You can know this stuff as much as you want. It's not gonna help.
True. You're all gonna be dead in like 2 minutes anyway, so why give a fuck?
And then henceforth, it was renamed TPK Island.
Isaac and Sesh,
Transmutation.
transmutation.
Just
Okay.
it is a pervasive everything of transmutation. Like these structures aren't. It's like the structures aren't emitting anything, but just like the background radiation is just like you can't focus on those. But it's like the trees, the ground, like the dirt that's gotten onto your feet from walking. That's like it's like just pervasive with that. Like put a Geiger counter to it, it would just be like
Oh my god!
it's like the ending sequence of the episode 2 of Chernobyl.
Yeah, so this is magical Chernobyl, is what you're saying.
Maybe.
So we're all gonna die of cancer in like 2 years. Good to know.
Those, actually, the
Hey,
three guys
well-
from that sequence did not die of radiation poisoning. They actually lived for a long time. 2 of them are still alive today.
Crazy bastards.
For now.
Yeah, surprising those guys survived. But yeah, so that's what you get from your detect magic spell, transmutation, and it is
Everywhere.
everywhere. It's actually you're starting to like as you're adjusting, you look towards your friends and like the few magical items that your friends have actually emit like a noticeably dimmer light, which it lets you kind of focus a bit better. But like that's the only differentiating. It's just a pure white essentially.
Right. There's a little bit of magic around here.
Just a smidgen, right? Tiny bit.
I can't see anything. There's so little magic. I mean, so much magic. Sorry,
What kind of
Oh.
magic?
Oh, you do know that,
My
right?
display flipped. Did 1A.
Oh God.
He has
Uh,
the
What-
inverse
what kind-
colors on.
What kind of magic?
Transmutation.
Someone
That's
describe transmutation to me, please.
Polymorph,
Same to you.
correct? It's like polymorph.
No, they say need for that
so-
kind of language. I was only asking a question.
I'll pat
Alchemy.
Rivallon on the shoulder.
Touch me again, and I'll cut your hand off.
Rivallon. Transmutation is the ability to turn something into something else. It's water to wine, gold to silver, light to
Dirt
dark.
to
It's
whatever.
turning an object to a similar object but different. So if I was someone who's adept in transmutation, I could perhaps turn you into a squirrel, maybe for a short amount of time, but I could still do it.
Knowing that I'd kill you when you
Ability
came
to-
back, yes, no problems. Okay.
Yes.
Ustinia is going to chime in here and say, could it be that this magic is what's, these woods? Then they're not really woods. There's no animals. There's nothing. There's no life. There's just plants here. Could this magic be making fake forest?
Mm.
You said it goes everywhere, right? It's all
From
over
what I
the
can
place.
see,
Well,
The limited
all over the
palette you can
place.
see. Yes.
I see no animals. I see no life. There's nothing here. What if it's the forest?
Maybe that priest
Ah,
actually did his job for a change.
The priest cursed the island, but maybe the local government didn't want to highlight the fact that they destructed an ecosystem, so they transmuted the destruction into something that looked luscious.
Like
It's
a
cover.
jade island.
What you're saying is J-Dial was an inside job.
No, we're saying it's conspiracy.
Well, we know it's an inside job. We're just thinking that the magic is a big cover up, and this
We
is
know,
actually all
man. We know.
I
Now
don't know
someone
why,
give me
but
my
I just wanna
tinfoil
roast
hat!
the
Morning
wanna
prayers
roast the
can't
reach.
melt ground bedrock, man.
How
I
near
just
am
want Roach
I
to
to
reach
a
over
tree?
and grab a hat.
How near am I to a tree?
How near you? It's not too like you will give you will walk off a little bit. You could like, are you talking like one of the big ones or just like a tree?
One big enough to hit that it won't knock down, just take a chunk out of.
It wouldn't be too far off your path. You could just
Okay,
walk
I'm
off
gonna
a little
take
bit.
my flail out and I'm gonna swing it at a tree, and I want to see what's
Why
inside
not
the
just
chunk
have
I
me
made.
fire an arrow at it?
I want
that
a
won't
kind of
take a
big
chunk out of
I
it.
want a big. I mean, I want a big big enough surface area, and I don't really want to knock down a tree, 'cause, you know. So I want to go thump and.
Okay.
Give me a attack roll.
Where you
I actually
miss,
haven't. I haven't
isn't it?
used my flail this campaign, so this is gonna be interesting. Flail.
You just been
I keep
carrying
looking
a
back
giant
at the
flail
Discord chat, and I keep seeing Arnie, like
Yeah.
looking very.
just looking around like he's after being attacked or
Eight.
accused of something.
All right, it's a tree, so
Yeah.
yeah, give me a damage roll.
It's not
Well,
gonna, you know,
that
protect
was a
itself.
dagger. Sorry, that was the wrong thing.
I was gonna say a D4 for a damage roll. I also liked how that D4 got like it was almost cocked
Yeah.
digitally. That was amazing. It's just like real D&D. It's just like a real dice. Okay, 6. So okay, you have a good like wind up, and then right to the this like it's a moderately sized pine that you're hitting, and you kind of put your flail back. You know, obviously you kind of like you don't like immediately whip it back because you didn't
No,
hit
because the
yourself.
flail.
Yeah.
Takes some adjusting.
Yeah.
It's a spike ball I carry on my.
Wind it down a little bit, but then you look at the tree that you hit, and it's like it's a big like dent and splintered like around the edges. Wood.
Okay. Like, if I pick it like the inside, does it feel like I imagine the inside of a pine would feel like sort of the inside of a tree?
Give me an investigation check.
Something you're good at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it should be, but that's a natural one.
Ooh.
Finally, we're in my
For
wheelhouse,
For
everybody.
those at home, that was a natural one.
So that's a 5, because I got a +4.
That's
This is
yeah, you
not
got a
an
+4.
Skill checks.
Oh yeah, skill checks is not it's not an immediate fail though. That is a horrible roll.
That roll is terrible.
It is. So yeah, you kind of like break off one of the little splinters of wood.
Fair and
Stabs
balanced.
himself with
looks
it.
like a normal like pine.
He stabs himself with it.
Maybe a white pine or something like that.
I'm going to say to everyone, I'm about to do something that might be a little bit crazy, and I'm going to put the bit of pine needle or whatever it is that I've got the splinter in my mouth. Kind of taste it.
All right.
Does it taste like wood? Or am I about to take a load of poison?
I will not make the very, very, very obvious joke here. I am.
All right, Isaac.
Yeah.
You take 1 point of damage from.
Was that 'cause
Poke
the
yourself in the tongue with
A
it.
little splinter gets on your tongue. Just you
That-
gotta get that. Yep. It's that is freshly broken off through blunt force trauma, like pine, like splinter that you just put in your mouth.
I've chewed worse in real life.
We don't want to know about your personal habits. Thank you very much.
No. Whatever you do
But yeah,
for your 20
it
pound on the
seems
weekend.
to be like a white pine. That's what you're getting like that. It's pale. It's very like pale wood, but that's about the only other. It's the defining difference to it. About that.
You say it's different because it's whiter, do you say?
It's a pale like wood. That's about all you get from it from looking at it.
The trees seem real. Like,
Though it is weird. You hit a tree like that anywhere else in the world that you've been, like there'd just be it'd just be like just a whole bunch of like
birds and
fly
everything would
birds
fly
like
out.
going out from it. Like not all you heard, all of you heard are just like a clang, 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 clang.
I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting. Something different. to
How
go
long
with
does
the
that detect
transmutation.
magic go for, by the way?
10 minutes.
Oh, he's
10 minutes.
I
blind.
think he can turn it off. I think he can turn it off if he wants to, though.
Well, you can turn it off.
I
I'm
can
asking if
turn
you
it off.
wanted to. I'm asking
No,
if
I'm
he
keeping it
has.
on.
Or just keep it on.
Just in case
He's
there's some
slowly
other
adjusting.
magic. Just in case there's some other magic.
It's like there's like little tears at the edge of his.
God, this is painful.
I like the idea that he's like pulled like a cloak slightly over, like almost like someone with what's he like
Gonna get
Severe
snow
headache,
blindness
severe
in the middle of a forest.
Migraine?
in summer.
just like a migraine, but he's just trying to shield himself that little bit extra from it. Just use it like a massive.
The funny part is, the sky is perfectly fine. So like, if he looked up, he'd be okay. But if he looks at like normal eye line, it's bad. Yeah, it's like when Isaac like takes the splinter, everything like that. It's like it's like he's holding a glowing piece of plutonium, like it's just in your like back, like it contrasts heavily with his body
Right.
and his natural magical, which is nothing in comparison with this. At least.
Oh, I felt
Ooh.
that.
Might
Your
it
natural
be
power
that,
is nothing compared to the island.
But
Might it be that the curse was to keep the forest alive but kill everything else? Make it look natural, but it's not.
I don't think that's transmutation, to be honest.
It would be the curse and then the transmutation to hide. Transmutation changes one for one.
Well,
It
didn't
doesn't-
they say they salted the soil of the island so that no more could live here? So that would kill
that
the
not meant to be
trees.
the curse?
So maybe the
They're
transmutation
transmuted.
is to give the illusion that the trees are alive. They're still there. They're just all dead.
That's why I was
Possibly.
expecting that. You can taste rotten things.
But they wouldn't be rotting. They'd just be dead.
Yeah, it'd just be a blackened tree. They're in the trees, man. Those trees are up to something.
How about we just go back to the ship?
By the way, I need
Let's go to
everybody to
the
make a
boat.
perception check.
Except
for
We're in
R1.
Vietnam.
R1, you get disadvantage
Because he can't
We're in
see
Vietnam
anything.
right now, boys.
because he
Hey,
can't see anything.
Surely he can see the thing that is.
Oh, for crying out loud!
Wow.
I've cursed us all.
Except yourself,
I got a
apparently.
16. I got a 16.
Oh, one.
Shit, Carl.
A 19 and a nat 20.
Wow.
Even blind is better than us.
R1 for the people listening, R1 got a 20 and a 19 at disadvantage, which means he got a 19 plus 7, 26.
Which is a 26.
He's blind right now and he can see more than us.
This man is blind.
It's his other senses
R1,
compensating.
You're just like like they're talking and you can hear them and you're just kind of like scanning around. It's all just white. It's white with like a background of like black essentially is what your vision is turned into.
Right.
And that's the backdrop of like the sky that you're getting through there. But then you notice something maybe about 50 feet out. There is a like a 2-story hut kind of like dwarvish building. And again, everything is white, but you get like, it's weird. You're able to like you squint a little bit because you see like a shimmer of like a dark color, and you get a silhouette against this white that's oddly standing. And by that, it's not standing. It's like half hunched over, and it's holding on to like the like an overhang. Almost like an ape would, but it's not. Its hand isn't the right way. You're making out like the hand, like if it was holding like this, like if that's how like
Right.
it would be holding from there. It's all of its fingers are reversed, and it's holding.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah. And you
Um,
can see it. You can see it for like because you're like squinting. It's just like its head's tilting, and it's like going like that. It's just like against that backdrop, and that's all you're getting. There's no detail. It's just this.
Right.
It's just this black. It's like a thermal you're getting out of here, like a really low quality Gen 1 thermal.
I mean, it works, right?
Once again.
That's the only way I can describe. You got a natural. You basically got a fucking natural 20 with what you're at right now. So that's you got
Yeah.
that. I don't know what to
I
tell you.
said you shall have this one.
guys, I can't really see. I'm not 100%, but I think there's something over that way on that 2-story building. It's kind of.
We all snap to look.
Did Isaac just do the stop and hold for the column?
Yeah.
Are you in
yeah,
Nam?
I saw that with my own eyes.
Ouch! What? They're in the trees.
Yeah, that's what it is. But you all look over.
right now, boys.
You all look over, and I'm gonna let I'll
First
let
bit is I didn't
Sesh.
even realize I did that.
It's ingrained. It's instinct.
Yeah.
It's instinct.
Armor being relived.
Yeah, I'm gonna
All
let
right.
Isaac and you're pointing it out, kind of. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, you you look over, and what you see is against this like shadow with the way the sun's kind of at right now. It's in the shadowy thing, and you see a pale against like light gray stone, a pale body that's holding on to this like overhang of what used to be a balcony before it like fell down, and it's holding onto the balcony with all of its fingers bending the wrong way on its palm, so it's like overextended.
How far?
And it's about like 70 feet out, like from where you're at, and so you're getting it. It's not detailed, but you're just seeing it on the like at the far range, and it's in shadow, but you're definitely seeing it. Its other arm is dangling, and it's just like it's making those like inquisitive kind of head tilts as it's like trying to like get because when a cat or a dog does that, they're trying to get like what is they're trying to what's the word get
Attention.
fuck what no,
No.
they're trying
No,
I know what
it's
he's trying to
it's
talk
when
to say.
yeah, it's when they're trying to gauge.
there's a word for it, like you don't have it when you only have one eye. It's depth perception. They're trying to
perception.
Perception.
Yeah.
they're trying to get like better a sense of like the depth and how far you are. They're trying to size, so it's like doing that very slowly.
I do that back.
Can I
And you
shoot
see
at it?
like it's she's like slowly going for your bow and just
I mean,
I'm
I can
reaching for
hit
my
it.
hand axe.
I can hit it from here.
The last
You
time
should be
you
behind
fired
everyone
off
for the
your
hand-axe.
fireball for no good reason, we ended up in a fight against a giant spider.
Very true.
That was fun, though, to be
Yeah.
fair.
yeah, but you're
You're
all
like-
just kind of standing there, like you're not saying things loudly, and you're just like looking at it.
I'm going to
It's
ready
just-
an arrow, not actually fire it. Just like put it into the bow, set everything up, so I'm all ready.
So very slowly, like with like a deer, like you see a deer out there. And you're just like,
Yeah.
It's 50 feet away, right? I'm reaching for my hand.
70
axe, so
feet.
it's still within
70 feet away.
Okay.
70
Never
feet
mind.
away, and it's about 15 feet up off the ground.
Yeah, I've got 120 foot
Okay.
range, so I'm well in.
No, I can't throw an axe that far, unfortunately.
I'm gonna
And
drop
As it's
tech magic.
okay, yeah. So you drop detect magic, and everything's just black for like 5 seconds, just like.
What the hell? I've lost my sight! Oh, wait a minute. No, that's fine. I'm good. I'm
Is
good.
this forever? And then it's like slowly starts coming back in with like contrast and colors come back.
My eyes.
But as you're all just kind of standing there, sizing each other up, you see like its tongue kind of comes out and it starts it like licks, and then goes back in, and then it comes out of the hole where the
Noses.
nose is, and then goes back in,
Was.
like kind of where it was, and it's just like
That's
just
not okay.
it's not
I'm going to perception around us in other directions apart from where we are. where we're looking.
Give me a perception check.
Because I'm thinking raptors here.
Clever girl.
Look at me, Blue. Look at me.
No, I'm thinking of like Jurassic Park 1. They get you to
Yeah,
focus
clever
your
girl.
attention and then come in from the sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, you looking around? Dead forest. Dead still. No air moving, like anywhere.
How
Kinda.
close are we to the boats?
Like about 4 minutes at a good
Okay,
at like a
still-
normal walking pace. But like if you sprinted, like you could get there pretty quick.
I suggest we
you can
start backing away, back
You could
towards
like
the village.
see like there's that rise
Back
where you
towards the village. You want to enclose ourselves rather than go to the beach where it's nice open ground.
Or we can just take the.
Well, we
fight
came
to it
through the
now
village
and
to get
end
to where we
this.
are. So I'm assuming the
Yeah.
beach is on the other side of the village.
No, we
We
were
were in
headed
the
towards the
village.
beach.
We were in the village. We were heading
We were
back towards the
sweeping
beach.
towards the beach.
Oh, we
through
were
the
going towards the
village.
beach. Where? Sorry, I got myself confused then. In which case, to the beach!
Right. And,
We all back out watching
So
this
just
thing
like
very
slowly
slowly.
walking. Slowly
Yep.
walking.
I'm not
backward.
going to take my eyes off it.
Yeah,
Okay,
same.
you're watching it. Then it starts to shift itself, and it's like it takes a grip from another thing with its normal with a hand in a normal grip,
Oh, and what's
undoes
the
it with the reverse grip.
you have?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said R1. What's the loudest instrument you have?
Pulls out a tuba.
Well, no, I'm just saying if we needed to signal the captain,
Pulls
we're
out
in a
a
fight.
a full drum kit.
What do you?
Yeah, I don't think a boat's gonna help there.
Wait, where's my inventory?
Because
Bagpipes.
There's
Don't
no,
know what he
No,
has.
there's no bagpipes. We made sure of
That's
that.
the thing. An obscure sound will travel, so they'll know.
I've got an
Wait, let me
obscure
find
sound
it.
for you. Unfortunately, we're on live stream and people don't like it when I start screaming.
The only instrument I have is a lyre, 'cause someone stole my bagpipes.
No one stole your bagpipes. You lost them.
The whole time you guys have been telling me about these bagpipes, and Chess has just been ignoring them.
So,
Shall we
so
please
as you-
move?
as you-
Yeah,
I'm
we
assuming
have
you're
been.
backing away as you're going. So as you're backing away, you see it like more inquisitively now, like tilts its head, and it's like moving. It's not moving in a human way. It's really skeeving you all out like that.
Yeah,
It's
that's dish joint.
something with bipedal motion shouldn't move like this.
We
Uh,
just destroy
but
it.
it's-
We just need to destroy it.
Its
No.
mouth opens, and you can hear it because there's no sound like in this, like other than like you
Yeah.
can hear the ocean behind you, and you just hear children laugh, and like the general
Aw.
merriment of things, like in the distance. Like it's perfectly mimicking what you would assume like a good like 5 or 6 children laughing at some distance away, and some like general murmuring of like individuals. Like it's
Kill it.
like a
Kill it
like a
now.
parrot murmuring things and like
What the
mimicking.
fuck is the predator doing on this island? God damn.
It's,
it.
How
it's
far
not
away
the
is it right
Predator,
now?
it's the Terminator. Crossed with the Predator.
How
Yeah.
far away is it right now?
You're at now part. It's like maybe 90 feet away because you're backing away slowly.
And how
keeping an
far
eye
up?
out.
15.
15 feet up. Yeah.
Still in range. I am gonna fire a firebolt at it.
No, you're not. Stop firing firebolts at people.
I'm doing it.
At the
You
correct
shoot it too,
level.
Rivallon.
Yeah.
Doing it? Okay.
Shoot,
That,
shoot,
that,
Rivallon.
that, that noise is just no. That because that is like siren song levels of like fucked up, and
Yeah.
Isaac like now knows of its evil intent, and it's just for sure like.
All right. So like all of you like you can like is Isaac? Like,
Anything about it.
And I've kind of had this like readied hand for a while, and I just go boom, and it like you see like
all right.
fire just shoot out the hand. It's a
And
long
I
range,
suddenly
so it
go-
might not hit.
Oops!
Well,
Smack
is it
into his
fire
legs.
bolt or fireball? It's
Bolt. I
firebolt
don't
or
have
bolt?
fireball. I don't have.
Okay.
Bolt. I'd fucking incinerate the forest. Like, aha! No, bolt is.
I mean,
just,
hey, there's nowhere to hide if there's no trees. That's all I'm going to say.
wait, which one hits no matter what?
That's magic. missile.
That's magic missile, and I
Magic
think
missile.
Sacred Flame might be. Let me check.
Save,
Oh,
save
no,
for
no,
free.
no,
Save
no.
saving.
It's a saving throw for second.
No, I was just remember. I
And it's
remember
only
Cosman was really lucky with his fire.
Oh yeah, well Cosman was a flame sorcerer. Like, he
Base, yeah.
specialized
So
in
he had
flames,
also
so-
Scorching Ray as well, which is the 3-1.
That's the one I was
Yeah.
thinking of.
Scorching Ray with quickened and double spells, so I could like
Yeah.
I could
So
like, just
I'm
like
gonna.
I could just like
cast-
Gatling gun that shit down.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, give me
I
a
don't
give me
like
a roll.
So 19.
Okay, yeah, so you ha and just like unleashing the fire within your soul is what you're doing. And it races out with like lightning speed, and it strikes the laughter that you're hearing, like as it's midway through, turns into like a scream of surprise, but not it's not what it would sound like. You don't think this is like a 20-year-old woman that you're hearing.
God.
Oh god, so it mimics sounds it's heard.
Yep.
And
Oh fuck. Oh
And
no.
No
Oh,
one
this
speak.
Is like that weird tripedal spider creature in the fucking in that fucking planet that we never ended up fighting in Starfinder. Oh, that thing that was mimicking our voices. Why? Why? Why, Roach? What is it with you and mimicking creatures? What is happening?
For those of you,
I'm liking the fact you're getting even higher percentages.
Oh,
no.
Roach just, Roach just knows how to fuck with me. Do I hit?
yes, you do.
Wow, that was
like,
a total shift.
that was a total shift.
Ouch, my neck.
You strike, and that was another attack roll. That wasn't
Don't know why. Oh no, sorry, damage. It had cast, attack, and damage. That was weird.
Okay.
I rolled a 2.
Yeah, you
There's
rolled
the long range,
d10.
So the fire kind of fizzled out just as it got to its face. And
Yeah,
kind of,
but you strike it, and like the scream that you hear is cut off as it kind of like hits it across the shoulder, and kind of it slams into the wall and loses its grip and just kind of falls down to the ground, and it looks like it just fell into a heap. But then, like really weirdly cracking.
hit me at 30. Anyone in
like
the UK
really-
will get that advert.
really creepily like cracking noises as like it reconfigures all of its joints as it gets up on all fours, and it looks at you, and now it's very angry with its eyes, and again you're really far out and you're just kind of like quicker backing up now, quicker backing up now, and and you just hear way off in the distance, very low, just a gruff sounding what's like a Teutonian kind of accented voice, just going like, who are you? And then away, just away. It just like
It said, "Who are
quickly.
you?"
Yeah.
And,
And
it's,
it just-
it's
yeah,
left out. It's out of our
Oh
sight.
yeah, quick, like the fucking flash. Just again, it just
Gone.
got back on its legs.
And I have to
Away or towards?
Away. It just went around the building and now it's out of your sight. Like it just
that's-
went.
That's time for our break as well.
Yeah,
It
that's
is.
I was just saying it.
Yeah.
It's a perfect time of a cliffhanger for a break.
Oh, that's.
Will the monster kill the party? Will they find out the voice's origins? Find out after the break.
Justinius is standing in the background saying that to himself.
I like the idea of that. Justinia has this perfect American accent as well. Like,
I'm just imagining Ustenia's just in the back, just going like, "I like this job. This is cool."
Cool things to kill. It's perfect.
we'll be back in like 5-10. Let us
Five,
have
10, yep.
5-10 bio break. Go get yourself a cup of tea or snack or drink or whatever, and we'll see you very soon.
God damn. Fucking Jesus Christ, Roach.
Yeah,
I-
It's like that zombie weirdness that was in the bottom of that fucking space station we were on.
Oh no! It's definitely that
Well,
fucking
No,
spider thing that we never
mimic
thought
thing,
it
but
was
I
mimic.
just
Yeah.
the things Roach comes up with. I sometimes worry.
I've started to notice a theme with things that don't sound like they really are and are just in fact the worst things known to nature.
It's magic. You know, it can be anything. it's, it's magic. It can be anything, which means it can be your nightmares.
Oh, I'm well versed in that right now.
Yeah. I had fun making this creature.
Yeah, good for you.
I also had fun making the list of the things it can say.
Oh, is it gonna work like
It
What do
is
you
a very a kenku,
yeah, Kenku.
maybe a bit.
Okay.
It has some limited ability to talk, of which you already know because you heard it.
It just went, "Who are you?" Fucked off in a German accent because it's got
Yeah.
Teutonian. So, who are you?
Yep, essentially.
God, are we gonna have a conversation with this creature and I've just attacked it?
Up to you.
My name is Isaac.
Yeah, remember, you still got to go through this island. Essentially, you've gone just like a tiny little bit on the trail that's on this map. You've still got to go through all the way to the hills
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
find the entrance to that tomb.
Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna use the bathroom. I'll be right. Hey, you
Uh,
All right, yeah, I'm gonna go.
It's just wrong. It's just wrong. Ooh, everyone's frozen. Everyone's back.
Oh dear God, what's happened to his webcam?
Everyone's gone really slow all of a sudden. I've got a question
Whoa.
for you, Midge.
Yeah.
Why are you wearing one sock?
Ah. Athlete's foot. Is
Ah,
the reason.
okay, okay, fair enough. Yeah, that is hell.
It's between my little toe on that right foot, but you're not. I'm very used to it because of dancing and everything, and also it's just because I've got new sports shoes that haven't quite broken in properly, so they're kind of retaining quite a lot of the sweat when I work out.
Mm-hmm.
So and I haven't worked out in a while, so my foot was just like, yeah, fungal infection, enjoy.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Here, have a
So,
fungal
yeah.
infection, you bitch.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't wear socks if you've got athlete's foot. So
Midge out here trying to flex with those arms.
not at all. It's more the fact that I've got to do a fucking show with some really intense dancing at the end of August, and I'm not ready.
I'm just like, I just want to flex and eat and not gain weight, essentially.
Now, something I do need to definitely do.
I did, however, break my record on the rowing machine for amount of distance.
I think I've just been sent the prices for my. So I'm going to bring us back, but not podcast. Oh no, it was wrong. I'm such a bad content creator.
No, you're not. Oh, I've been meaning to ask you. Your stream for this,
Yeah.
is that with Stream Elements or Streamlabs?
I use Streamlabs OBS for everything I do.
Oh, okay. Because I'm just trying to figure out how to do a better overlay.
The overlay is something I have separate that I've put on there. The actual.
Do you create it yourself?
No, I paid for the assets from an artist I know who does specifically D&D art assets. Really cheap as well. It was like £5
Okay.
for like a set of 4 of them.
And then
I'll
you-
link you the guy.
Cheers.
Actually, or I've paid for the assets. So I can just
No, I'm just
No, but I'm-
thinking of doing things to make my streams look better. That's all.
Yeah, fair enough. I have just been sent the final copies of the art I ordered.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
I really have to get you my backstory.
Yeah, you do.
I like how the person who you play tabletop games the most with, you mentioned the last in your Call of Cthulhu announcement thing. You're like, oh yeah, here's all these people, and you're like, oh yeah, Rival's the last guy.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm so sorry, Rival. I don't know if you saw my announcement, but I was saying who's joining me for Call of Cthulhu, and I was like, there is definitely one more person, but I can't think of who it is. Looked at the group chat because I didn't have it open, and I went, oh, of course, Rival. And I
Just
did
because I
apologise
only
for him,
have
but-
like 700 subscribers and the rest of you have like thousands,
No.
it's fine.
It's,
I actually don't have
a lot of
700. I have 689.
You're the third biggest in the group
Really?
this time.
Wow. Slowly climbing.
I have one.
To be fair,
subscriber
it
on my
hasn't-
YouTube channel. I don't know who it is.
To be fair, it hasn't been a very good month for subscribers for me.
Neither me.
Just in terms,
It's been
yeah.
really
Better
quiet
than
for
all
me.
year for me.
it's actually been a
last month.
pretty bad month for me on Patreon.
It's been a
'Cause I
terrible
lost,
month for me on subs.
I lost a $10 Patreon this month, as well as mid, but that
I'm still there. This cutback
you're
is
still there. Yeah.
I joined Mage's Patreon. You should link me your Patreon, Roach.
Well, my Patreon.
It's in
usually
quite
comes
literally
out to him,
every
comes
single one
out
of my
mine.
videos.
So,
I'm lazy though, but you're here right now.
well, by being my Patreon, you're also being his because my patronage directly comes out of my patrons sent money to me.
Is that a Budweiser?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go to
Yeah.
England so I can punch you in the mouth for drinking shitty beer.
I'm
There
sorry,
you go.
I didn't feel like ale tonight, so I went with the only beer we had.
To be fair,
There you go,
that
Mikey.
Budweiser is the
Thank you.
best of like the American beers.
Oh, it's because
Which isn't
American
saying
beer is
anything,
trash.
really.
That's why.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
yeah.
not saying much. That's like saying
No.
getting punched in the face is better than
Give
getting
me like
punched
a
in the balls.
Kronenbourg.
Obviously, but I don't want to get punched anyway. You know?
I mean,
Um,
isn't that also? I mean, are you just accounting like major beers, like big beer? Because I mean, isn't there like a whole like a huge industry for
Okay,
like craft
beers
in
that
the
we
US?
from America that we get in the UK are disgusting.
Oh, they're disgusting
kind
here
of,
too.
Well, they're the biggest. Like they're the biggest brands. So
Yeah, we don't get
yeah.
like your craft beers because fuck would order craft beer from America when you can just make it here.
Craft beer isn't much better.
No, it's not. Still.
But when you need cheap booze,
I mean, when you need cheap booze here, you just go to Aldi or Lidl and buy yourself a fucking
Oh, yeah.
12-pack for like €4, which is garbage tier beer, but it'll get you drunk if you drink all.
oh yeah, I mean you can get a.
I don't know. You can get pretty good tier beer these days in a little.
You,
Yeah,
can,
that's
you
true.
can get a 36 pack of Natty Light for like $3.
Yeah, beer here is expensive.
Natty Light is bad.
Rival, have you seen the art? I just shared it in our.
I haven't looked yet, mate. I've just got a text off Red to say she's on her way home.
Oh, okay. No
Say
worries.
hi for us.
Yeah,
Oh, Red's not home yet.
No, she went out for a. They're doing a big changeover thing in her work, all the databases and everything. And
I
they've
was
got
gonna say,
people
usually
in,
she's
so-
there to do your.
oh, she's running my pub
chat.
normally, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I didn't get her during quarter.
No, she will be home soon. She's on her way. Right.
There's your $10 Patreon back, Roach.
Oh, Jesus! Damn it! I mean, thank you.
Ooh.
I mean, thank you. What the fuck
I
you
mean,
do,
thank you.
asshole?
God
Okay, I'm
damn
gonna
it!
have to redo my thumbnail now. But
You
okay.
asshole.
I'll send you something if you want, Rival. So I'm coming up with my thumbnail as is.
Oh, okay.
Well, that
I'm
means
just
you're gonna
like,
get
all
a
right, then I'll leave
you're gonna
that.
get a dreadnought in the Rule the Wave series. Whenever or cruiser or a carrier. Oh, I still need to do Crimson. I still need to name a ship after Crimson in that series. Because I have not done that yet.
Also, am I the only one who thinks that for some reason Stellaris has not gotten better from day one, even though they've added a lot of cool things and changed a lot of cool
I
things?
think
it's still
when
the
they
same
mid-game.
changed
The
the
problem
Yes.
is the mid game.
Yes.
Never been
Yes,
improved. They've
1,000%.
added a lot to the early game. They've added a lot to the end game. They've done nothing for the mid game. That's why.
I got a really, really cool excavation where I got given a Herald class ship. Oh, just handed to me.
oh,
it was
you
really cool.
beep, you got that. When did
Yeah.
you get it? Like in the first
I got
200
that
years or something?
Yeah. It got handed to me. Just got handed this
Yeah.
Herald class ship with like dark matter
Yeah.
drives and all the best things on it.
Yeah.
And like I'm like, oh shit, that's really cool. And then another one of my things was like it spawned a Grand Dragon in one of my systems. Like
Okay.
like one of those skull Leviathan difficulty things. I think that's awesome. But once you get to a certain point, it's just, right, I gotta wait for my influence to build up. I gotta wait for this thing to happen. I gotta wait for pops to grow, and pop growth takes so long that it's almost mandatory to take rapid breeders at start or focus on like gene mapping and shit.
Yeah.
And I don't think they've fixed robots yet, so you can't actually pick which robots to build. So like you pick the baseline model, and then if you might get robo modding, change the robot, but then you have to, every time a robot is built, you have to spend like 6,000 engineering points to change that robot to its proper designation,
Yeah.
and it's waste of time. Like, why
I
don't
don't
they
like
fix
how the
this
way
stuff?
they've changed the structure, with the regions and individual buildings
Haven't
in the
really
regions.
looked into that yet.
It's annoying as hell.
I haven't really like expanded.
Just
enough
give me
yet.
back my 24 building blocks and let me just build things on each block. That's all I want. It's much easier, it's much simpler, and it doesn't bugger up all the mods.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm getting more and more disappointed in Paradox as time goes on, because Imperador really hurt me for that. And although I like Stellaris as a game, I think I don't think they have like a very good plan of action.
No, they haven't got a good roadmap
they're-
for it.
They're figuring out what to do as it comes, and it's just like, oh, people don't like that. Okay, we got to change that, because like, what is this? They're working on the 4th change to sectors now. Like it's
Because they never got it
it's
right.
because yeah, I mean, I think the best case they had for sectors was the first iteration. That was the one that was the most involved, and you had the most control over it compared to everything else. But now it's not, and now they're basically going back to that, but keeping it's just, they're just like
Stellaris is a weird game in that it's great, but it's also really annoying.
it's good in multiplayer. Like if you have friends to play it with, it's really fun.
Oh, it's a blast in
It's one of those few
multiplayer.
games that I do. It's one of those
It's a
few
blast.
games that I do actually own that I have a lot of people who play it. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
better in
pretty garbage
multiplayer
to
than
EU
anything.
for, though I like playing
I would
it. So.
I would say, like, yeah, Paradox I'm not too happy with, but I'm getting into other games because of it. So I'm getting into like
As a
I'm
tech for Patreon, can I recommend Xenonauts? Because I'd like to see you do that.
See, I've played through Xenonauts like 5 times.
It's so good, though.
Yeah, but I Rival can back this up. I'm not a person that pre-plays games a lot.
Nope.
Like
that's fair.
I don't like because like I couldn't go through and play Battlestar Galactica Deadlock again. I just like I know what the story is now. And
But you
they've
don't.
only
You don't, though. That's the thing. They've extended the story. They made it better.
I know they've extended the story, but it's not enough for me to justify a whole new like 200 episode series.
It's not 200
however
episodes.
long it
Coming out
was.
this year, I think, though. So that's a thing.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna play Xenonauts too. That's on the list.
That's an awesome. I'm looking forward to that. That's
Right.
But no, my latest Patreon video I actually laid out. I wanted to do some stuff for Zeusing for Arma 3, like tutorials and like mission setups and stuff like that. When we get back into Arma 3, I'm thinking about doing an edited Kerbal Space Program series, like a more heavily edited.
She's
character
home!
series.
She's arrived!
Oh, tell her
Hey.
hi.
I read.
I read.
They're actually
We
more
should,
happy to see you than they were to see me. What a surprise!
We're
To be fair, she's nicer.
Yeah. She doesn't threaten.
That's
to
a
top off like
lie!
Stan.
I am lovely! That's why they've given me the nickname.
No, you
Lovely
are
Chris.
lovely, Rival, but she's better.
You're here. Here.
Just a little higher. I think
should
we can.
probably continue with the creepy bastard.
With her,
saying that-
without her.
Who are you?
With her,
I mean,
without her.
we can
That's
sit here
good.
and talk about,
So-
you know, how much better.
So
The
we
monster-
get back into
Yeah,
the,
we left
you
off with
just-
the monster being even creepier because now it's got a German accent.
But yeah, for like the one sentence or like part sentence it said, and then it skulked away, with like a minor wound. It didn't look like it was too damaged, but then again, it didn't look like a very heavily damaging. So
Before we go any further, can I just say one thing to my people who are watching? This is not
Go ahead.
a monster you can find in any of the textbooks or anything like that. This is something Roach has made up.
oh yeah, this is a custom monster. This is,
So
I had a
I
baseline
appreciate
from
you
another-
sending me things saying Raven Mocker, but it isn't that.
No, it isn't that.
It isn't that. That's the problem.
That's the problem. This is because I know a whole bunch of people are on streams and tell my players what they're fighting a lot of times. Whether or not that helps them, it doesn't usually, but still. Either way, yeah, you've seemingly chased it off at this point, as you're now pretty like you're not too far away from the beach and where the boats were, or the boat was. When you arrived. So are you gonna just continue going, or what is your plan now that you've drawn blood, or well, you've drawn scorch because it didn't bleed. when you hit it.
I am gonna fire a few more firebolts up into the air, just signal flare.
Flare.
Yeah.
Signal flare.
Oh, there's a cantrip. I can just do it. I can do what? I can do one every 6 seconds because that's a round of
Yep.
combat technically. So.
Is that with the sound effects?
Yeah.
And he doesn't. In all honesty, he doesn't make much of a sound. It's just kind of like it's the air moving out of the way of the firebolt. That's kind of all you
Yeah.
hear.
Isaac
And it
adds
kinda
in the
just-
sound
It
effect.
doesn't even explode when it gets to the end of its,
No, no, no.
its traverse. It
It's-
just kind of
it's just-
fizzles.
It's just Isaac going. Phew, phew.
Pew pew pew.
No, that's just I don't know if they saw anything.
You're fairly close to the beach at this point. You've been walking backwards this whole time. It wasn't too far away.
Back to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay. So you start heading back to the beach, and you get over that like little like land. There's always like that little bump in land right before you get to the beach. That little rise. So you get over that, and what you see is when you get over, you see the 4 individuals.
Corpses
The rest of
everywhere. Wrecked
just,
boats.
all dead. You see Bonla, Trindle, the captain, and Wilhelm are all standing next to the boat. Each of them has weapons drawn, and they're looking in the direction of the 6 or 7 firebolts that were fired into the sky like a half minute ago. And so, like, you know, Bonla's got his big fuck off axe. Tilden's got a bastard sword that he's holding, and Wilhelm's got a fish spear. Yeah, fish spear. It's a modified fish spear. And the captain's has 2 short swords. One held underhanded, one held about overhand. It's kind of like they're just watching you come over the horizon to the beach, and he's like look worried for a second, and then you see like the captain go like they do that thing. We're just like,
What the fuck?
fuck.
I wasn't sure if they were at the beach yet or not.
Do you say that to them, or you're just like under?
I thought you might still be in the village. We saw the creature again, and thought it best. It was the quickest way I thought to Maybe to get a warning to you, but you're already here.
Right. Okay.
Let's get the fuck off this island before we lose
Everybody
our goddamn
starts-
bones.
Was it behind you? Did you kill it?
I hit it, but not hard enough to do much lasting damage. It ran away.
It also
Alright.
spoke.
It spoke.
And laughed like a bunch of children.
I
That's
think it's
disconcerting.
it's
Very.
I think it's mimicking things it's heard. The chill, because when it saw the firebolt coming towards it, it screams like a lady. Before that, it cackled like children, that would accrue to the settlement. And then after hitting it, it fell. It recovered itself, and spoke with a Plutonian accent, saying, "Who are you?" and then ran off. All three had different voices, which leads me to believe it's mimicking things it's heard and either has forgotten how to speak itself or has learnt to speak through hearing other people.
All in
Okay.
all, it's very I don't like
Fucked
it.
up.
What it basically means is we can't break up once we are onto the island. We have to stay as a group. Or it
Good to
will
know.
entrap us by getting us to follow voices into ambush zones.
Find anything else out while you were out, or
The whole island is covered in a veil of magic.
can you elaborate?
Transmutation magic to be exact. And
Okay, that didn't help me as much as I thought.
well,
Tr-
it's heavily magic, like
Dirt on your
blindingly.
boots. Magic.
Transmutation is the form of magic that converts one thing, whether it be a creature, object, to another of a similar type. For example, druids. You've seen druids be able to morph into creatures. That would be a form of a creature form of transmutation magic. It's alchemy.
I like how you put your glasses on out of character. Can you explain that?
All right, well, that is good to know.
Not really.
So- Well, it's more than we knew before.
Got a point.
Every bit helps. We're going to be going through this land. There's no good beach to land on the other side of the island. This is the only good beach that we can do a landing. It's sheer cliffs everywhere else. So we have
I'd
to
rather
go
not
through.
climb, so, yeah.
We have to go through
Ah.
along this path that our map points out to get to where this tomb. So every bit that we know now is another thing that won't surprise us later.
I can agree to that at
DM,
least.
can I try something?
Go ahead.
Can I take a sip of water from my canteen?
Okay. You
Does it taste like water? I want to make sure that being on the island hasn't like
Yeah, you just take a sip.
or corrupted anyway.
Yeah, that's canteen water.
Okay, fine.
It's been sitting in there for a couple of days probably, so it's
I just wanted to
you
make
know,
sure that
it tastes of preserve.
I didn't wa-
that's the interior of the canteen because it's it's
if
just
we're
a
going
water
on
skin.
the idea that our cleric can make more water for us, I wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to get corrupted by the magic already on the island.
No, it tastes fine. It's water.
It's normal, I imagine would be the term.
Yeah,
You know.
colored a bit by the taste of just being in a water skin for a couple of days, but other than that, it's water.
Got that old leather musk.
Essentially, yeah. Yeah. If you ever drink out of a water skin, yeah, it's got a taste to it. As somebody who has had to do that, so yes. Well, if there's nothing else left to do, I think we should get off this island before nightfall. I don't
Agreed there,
fancy a stay, at least not without a good amount of my men to guard a perimeter of a camp.
Very well.
Right, and set off. Push yourself off into the water, and then start rowing back. And
Stiny and I just speedboating it. Just...
I'm keeping an eye on the island as we move away from it.
Okay, give me a perception check.
See if something's watching us. Come on. I've had really bad rolls all day. Give me a good one.
How's your post-break?
That'll do.
22. Nice.
22. It's about 5 minutes after you've left the beach, and you're going down this you can see on the map there's a little channel from the anchor here area that you have to kind of go through to go south and to go between that little other smaller island.
Yeah.
And you're going between that, and you look over to the west, kind of from the boat, and because again, this is the only place that's really a beach. Everywhere else is good, solid, sheer cliffs, just maybe 30-40 feet in the small end from the actual
cliff.
ocean. Well, it's that if you're not prepared or you're not a diver, that can fuck you up.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I'm just talking from I live in the UK, where the biggest cliffs in the UK are.
Not all of us can have that experience. And you look over and you can see around an overhang of a tree that's leaning off against the side. You can see a shape that's moving around some of the branches, and can't really make a lot of detail, but there's definitely something moving in there, and it catches your eye because it's the only thing that's moving anywhere.
We're being watched.
Of course we are.
We are actually in Vietnam right now, aren't we?
Can you try and point it out to the captain?
On the other boat.
Oh shit.
No, you've got one boat.
Oh, I thought we had two boats.
No, it's just one. It's just one. There's only you.
There was two boats
U5.
before.
There was two boats.
Yeah.
We
I
took
must
a
have
second
been-
boat.
I must.
Yeah, the
Oh, yeah,
captain
you-
and her fur went on one boat when we went on the other
Right.
one.
No, I got it written down here. No. Yeah. Sorry, in my head I was. Yeah. So, but you're not too far apart from each other. You're keeping pace because it's it's safer that way. To when you're going about and something like that. So you're not too far away. I mean, you're within. You're not talking distance, but you're within kind of upper range.
Shouting, pointing.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to get her attention, you could.
I could get her
Do
attention
we-
a lot easier than that.
What are you thinking?
Put an arrow in the boat next to her.
He just shoots his
No,
arrow
God,
at it.
no. Don't shoot her.
No, shoot near her.
Yeah, no, but you might surprise her and put her in the sea.
It's an arrow. It's not exactly an orc dropping in the boat next to
Okay,
her.
now that... Okay, Rival, have you pointed out the creature?
To you lot, yeah.
Okay. Look!
Yes, because that's really going to not scare the thing away again.
There.
Let's see if any of them notice it.
Hold on a second.
This is where Wilhelm rolls a natural 20 and he just screams.
Oh, I forgot. What
Well,
that's
screams
19.
and falls off the boat.
Hey! I wasn't wrong. I wasn't too far off.
he rolled the highest on that boat.
Wilhelm
you
screams
see-
and falls off the boat.
Yeah, you see Trindle and Wilhelm look up from their position, and then they kind of point with kind of in the direction, and you see everybody gets an idea. They all know that it's there now, and they're talking amongst themselves. Second.
Neither of them to know that we're not met.
Well,
I mean-
cool. Let's say. Right.
We are here, aren't we? We're mad.
Yeah.
100%.
So you hear
Okay,
over the
crazy.
quietness of the lapping waves from the direction of the creature, bells.
Bells.
As in church bells.
Yeah.
And that church bell has been gone a while as well, hasn't it? The bell tower has fallen down, so...
It's not there. Yeah, it's off.
So
to the
this
side, yeah.
creature clearly has been around a while as well. So this includes with the 25-year theory.
Great.
Also, how the hell
One-
do we know it's all the same creature? It's very likely it's not.
Okay, at least a creature
Yes.
has been
that's-
around here 25 years.
And you hear that for a while. It's like seemingly trying to get it, like it's trying to do something.
trying to get
to-
attention.
or because depends on what bells meant back then. Because bells could also be used to signal ships off the shoreline.
Yeah, foghorns
did
type
that,
things.
Yeah. So it does that for.
Yeah, it's,
You hear that?
it's-
You hear that for a
it's-
good like 3 minutes before it starts to. It's funny. After you get about 3 minutes out from where you from that position, and you were already partway out of the little channel, and you get kind of in the normal sea. You're no longer near the ocean. Like the wind picks up again, and it's like, oh, weather.
Noise.
Yeah, weather, noise. The waves get a bit bigger, and then it kind of then drowns out a little bit, and you can't hear the bell noise anymore.
Bells, children, Teutonian man, and woman.
And
Making a note
you-
of all of its noises.
Okay. So yeah, and other than that, it is a fairly uneventful trip back to the Trumpet's Cry.
Thank fuck for that.
And you see it off on the side again. It's it's the same kind of elvish design of a ship. It's, it's a moderate size kind of thing. And you get back on board. You're the second ship. You're the second boat to get there. The captain and the other senior crew, and plus Wilhelm, get up on board, and then you're brought up on board as well, and the ships or the boats are raised up. And yeah, what do you want to do? Because essentially, what you hear is the captain's given orders as soon as like you get up there. You're hearing her give out like marching orders to like get supplies ready for at least 5 days on shore. Bring make sure we got plenty of fresh food and fresh water. Make sure all the swords are in good condition. All the weapons are in good condition. We got plenty of torches, oil, basically everything. They're getting things together from the ship's stock.
I propose one of us each perform a watch alongside the crew tonight. We all
Okay.
know what the creature looks like. More experienced eyes guarding the ship, I think, would be of benefit.
That's understandable.
I'm going to the crow's nest.
Just going to the top of the ship.
I've got the bow.
All
Would
right. You go ahead
And those
you
elvish eyes.
climb up, and you're at the top of the mast, and it's just this little like small basket essentially
Yep.
that's at the top that you've got. You're there alone, and you can see from here a fairly good stretch of like the southern coast of the Jade Isle, or the Jade Isles. And again, yeah, they were pretty right. From what you can see here, there is like no beach along this side of the shoreline that you're seeing. It is pretty sheer cliff.
Okie dokie.
And that's what you see from your position. So everybody's kind of just so Rivallon's staying in the crow's nest, but you need to still take your meditation
Mm-hmm.
during the night at some point. So what watches are you all taking?
I'll take the early morning shift because I'd be up to pray anyway, so it's normal for Isaac to be up at those times.
I can
Take
take
the
first,
shift.
second.
I'll take first, if you don't mind.
I'll take
Well,
second.
we can have more than one. We got six of
Multiples.
us. We only
I'll
so-
take any shit, frankly. Just put him in wherever.
Well, I only need 4 hours worth of meditation time.
It can in tandem, you need 4 hours of consistent time, though. So
Yes.
you could take
Yeah.
like the first two or the last two.
I normally take the last two, don't I?
Well, no, that's
No, you
usually
normally
either.
take the first two. I normally take the
Mm.
last one for sure.
Or you take.
No,
the
I take
second
the middle
class
two.
usually. Yeah.
So I normally do one on my own.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you all take your watches. After coming back aboard after being on the shore for the day, with the senior crew, you notice it's there is you're not treated as coldly. Just in terms of there's more talking, and it seems the crew is actually they're not talking to you per se, but they're talking amongst themselves in a normal volume again. Like it's you're not as much of a stranger, or as a strange sight, both as a group and individually, for the crew.
What time of the day is it currently? Is it about time for me to pray?
It's getting close. It's
Okay.
getting close to that. It's getting close to dark, from all the time you spent searching and exploring and
I am
experimenting.
there before then gonna take it, because I know that my character's got a very good look at the creature. I'm gonna sketch it out on a piece of paper that I've got using my calligraphy tools. So I've got pens and inks and stuff. I'm gonna get a good sketch of the creature and hand it to Arwan.
Arwood was going to draw a sketch as well, but he'll use Isaac's. His is a little bit better.
Okay.
Arwen's going to pull out his lyre and play a happy, upbeat melody. Quietly, but, just enough so if people can hear it, if they, want to come closer, they can listen. Especially his friends, since that island was creepy as hell.
I'll sit and listen.
I'm gonna go ahead while I'm listening and do my second attempt at sketch of the captain on a piece of wood with my my tools.
Captain
Let me
is
roll that up.
not out. So you'd be doing this from memory. She's not. After she gave her orders, she's in her quarters.
All right. So will I go ahead and roll it then?
Yeah, but that would be at a. So yeah, just so you know, it is from memory, so the DC is higher.
It might not be as good, but we'll give it a go. Huh.
It's not bad. Not bad actually. You think it's pretty good. It's from memory, so you're kind of like going. You've seen her a couple of times. And you're just kind of working from that, and you make a fairly good approximation.
She'll like sketch her name into the bottom of it, or I should say, etch her name into the bottom of the piece of metal. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you do so. You do so. It's not. It's a bit harder because it's Elvish in the origin, so there's a lot of flowing letters.
Yeah.
But yeah, it will work fairly good. Anything else anybody wants to do for the end of their night?
Nah, I can't really think of any for me.
Okay. So, you begin your watch. So I need whoever's on first watch to make a perception check.
That would be me. Skills. Oh. All right. It's pretty good. So it's
Alright,
24.
You're on the deck, kind of walking around, pacing and looking out. It's not a lot to see though. It's pitch black. You got maybe 2 lanterns bathing light into the darkness on the deck itself, but that's it. One fore, one aft. But you, as you kind of settle down and getting into like the second hour, you can hear kind of whispered voices. And after a few seconds, a little bit of time, oh, it's the crew. Some of the crew talking, and you're hearing them from below deck,
Okay.
like through like a vent. Or not a
Are
vent,
those
but
like
a
wooden
grate.
grate things? Yeah.
Yeah, like a grate, and there's and you just kind of hear some of them talking. And do you listen in, or are you just like
Still listening.
listening? Okay. From what you get, because again, you're kind of you're sitting down and you're hearing this from a little ways away, but you're catching most of it. You're hearing one of the older gentlemen who's on the crew, kind of a gray-haired dwarf who's fairly high on the chain, is talking, and which you hear to be maybe a cabin boy, one of the younger individuals who works in the crew. And he's describing a story. He's going. So you know why we're here? I said, pick up something valuable? Well, yes. You know why it's valuable? Don't hear anything. Well, this bloke, this guy that the captain's getting to his tomb. The story goes, some people say that he betrayed his captain. He betrayed the Red. And that's the reason that the Silver Sand was able to catch him unaware. And for some reason, he's got something in the tomb that's connected to that. That doesn't make much sense. Why would he betray him? Pardon, maybe? But he didn't get pardoned. He came whatever that thing Trindle is. Well, maybe, but he did other things after the whole Bay of Gold stuff. Like, maybe he just caught up with. I don't know. I think that sounds kind of doesn't make a lot of sense, old man. It starts. You hear like a hemming and hawing kind of thing. I'm just telling you what the stories say, and it kind of keeps going on like that. It's what you're getting is there's like a folk tale about this Pilon the Pillager. He used to be a loyal lieutenant of Galifar the Red, and then he was the reason Galifar was. He was the one that betrayed Galifar, and that's what led Galifar to having to sacrifice himself for the rest of his men in the great battle of the Jade Islands. And you've heard of the Great Battle of the Jade Islands. The names didn't really matter, but there was like a story when you were a kid about this this elvish gentleman who fought off a fleet of dwarves around a green island. Was kind of thing. It doesn't translate well across cultures, but that's kind of you've heard it, at least your culture's version of it. And yeah, you recall there's always a story about somebody close betrayed the individual, and that's why he's and it's kind of the tragedy is that he then sacrificed himself for all the rest of his captains and the rest of the crews, and obviously one of them had to be the betrayer, so he in a way for the individual that betrayed him.
So Pirate Jesus.
God damn it, Mitch.
I guess if you want to bring it that way. But you just get kind of a sense of that, and this old sea dog is trying to teach this young cabin boy about why they're here. What's the backstory? What's everything that they're here for, and why it's important. And the young guy doesn't seem to care. Like he
just wants his money.
He just wants his money, or he's just here because it pays. Yeah, it just pays,
Yeah.
and or he gets away from his mundane life.
Whatever's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of what you're getting, and just he doesn't have a lot of respect for the old stories, and that goes on for maybe about 10-20 minutes before they kind of peter off, go to sleep. Is what you assume, that or they stop talking.
Sick incoming pirate, Jesus.
And then, God damn.
What's Keanu Reeves doing here?
Keanu Reeves. Oh my god, we've just been having memes
Wake
about
up,
him on an
Isaac.
episode.
We got a world to burn.
No, Galliffer!
Isaac's just laying in his bed,
Well,
just
to
like,
burn and women to be really exceptionally nice to.
God, I love Keanu. Anyway,
Yeah, but that's what you get. Other than that, pretty uneventful watch. Second watch, I'm gonna need checks for whoever's on second watch, which I think is Ustenia and Rivallon.
Oh, okay.
So you said you took the middle two watches.
I'm sure I took the last two because of me needing to be out for 4 hours straight.
yeah, you need to be out 4 hours straight. Yeah. So you take
Okay,
the last.
so yeah,
Last
so
two,
just in here then.
Yeah.
Ustenia,
14
okay.
on my perception.
Okay. You go through, you're on the deck, now walking around. Kind of never got used to the ocean, being on a ship. Just doesn't move right.
He feels so wrong.
Well, the last time he was on the ship, a giant eel attacked.
I never forget that night.
Yeah.
And look at how far you guys have come from a giant eel to this.
A man with eels for joints.
Mm-hmm.
Truly a better arc than Game of Thrones Season 8.
We're currently in line with season 6. We're not great though.
Yeah.
So you're saying
So-
we're 3.6 on IDBM?
Take
So-
that.
No,
You,
not great, not terrible.
On ID&D.
ID&D.
It's got 3.6. Not great, but it's not horrible. So yeah, you kind of just rocking back and forth for a few hours, looking out over the edge. Nothing's really happening. Yeah, nothing happens. You go through your watch, not seeing anything. Just kind of bored. I'm gonna need the perception checks for a third watch, which I think is who? That's
Arwen.
R1.
Oh my
and-
god.
I'm Rivallon.
Wow, you guys suck.
Oof. That's what,
6 and
30.
13.
That's not too bad. That's middle. You got to middle.
Yeah, it's middle of the
We're
road.
screwed because he just
yeah.
rolled.
The other crew are on watch as well. Don't forget.
That doesn't mean
He
anything.
did roll for the other two.
No.
Go to sleep, Johnny.
So, yeah, you both, well, you in the crow's nest after getting your meditation done. You haven't come down. You just meditated in the crow's nest. And R1 on the deck. You go through and you're just going through this standard routine, walking the length of one side of the ship, stopping at one point, listening, going to the other side, walking, stopping, listening. Kind of going through that for a full watch. And nothing. Don't hear anything, don't see anything. Just
Wait, don't hit
darkness.
anything?
Nothing out of the ordinary, just the lapping of waves against
That's
the
fine.
hull.
Okay,
That's
fair enough.
all
Okay,
you get.
alright, yeah, yeah.
Wind, that creaking of the boards, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not
Okay.
like
The
oh,
island.
where'd all the
Island,
sound go?
It's not
Okay.
like Ireland. Nothing.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, which yeah, I guess in comparison with the place you were, where there was almost no sound, yeah, that it is actually fairly cacophonous in just terms of sound around you now. But yeah, you get through it. Nothing out of the ordinary seems to occur. I'm gonna need final watch, which is gonna be Isaac and Rivallon.
Oh, come on, dice. Yes! Nat 20.
Something like
Sweet.
24.
Finally!
Well done.
24
Excellent.
and Isaac
And an 8.
and 8. Okay.
He was too busy thinking about God.
So
Too busy
Rivallon, you're-
thinking about Jesus.
Isaac, you're sitting down for the most part. You're just like sitting down listening, waiting for the sunrise. Just kind of zone out for a while, come back. Oh, what was it? And then you just zone back out again. Kind of fairly monotonous. Rivallon, this is your second watch, and you're getting used to the waves and the sounds of the ocean at this time of night. And then the wind comes in from the north for like maybe 5 minutes. And then you hear dong, 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 just for the whole time. Every single note, the exact same. No variation. Almost artificial.
Really? Like something's making that noise to try and draw us in.
Possibly. It's actually very weird because there's usually when that is done, there's like a light associated with, like even in like a coastal town that only has like a church and a bell tower, they'll put like a lantern in like a window or something like that. They'll
tell me
do
about this
something
To give a visual
So-
representation.
yeah, to get but yeah, so the sound and the visuals, so they can kind of figure out, oh, that's where the shore is, or that's where that town is, and kind of work through that. But yeah, that's you hear that for a good like 5 minutes when the wind's right, and it's like carrying the noise from the island.
Yeah.
It's definitely coming from like the southern coast of the island is what you're hearing. And it does that, and it just keeps going and going and going, and then the wind kind of shifts direction, and then it's gone.
Okay.
Do you tell
Really
me?
skeeved you.
I'm up in the crow's nest. You're on the deck.
Yeah. I can climb.
Or fly. It's
Or
always
fly.
Don't want to waste my flying on something I could climb. Or like you could quite easily tell me, like if you needed to. I think.
Okay. The bells! The bells!
It's that spell Isaac likes to use.
How
It's
far are
ring
we
the
from the
bell
shore?
tolls.
You're a good distance away. You're a good distance away. Maybe you're at this point, like from the nearest section, you're maybe a mile and a half off the coast.
Okay, so you're not in longbow range at all.
No.
Oh no.
I had an idea.
Even if he took like long distance shooter or whatever that is, the double it and he got like 1,000 feet, he's still not even close. Like yeah.
Yeah, all I was gonna do was cast light on one of Rivallon's arrows and see, boom, if it reacted to the light.
The light spell would only go as far as you can cast light, and that would go out.
No, it goes on whatever it will stay.
Do whatever
attached to
item.
The item.
Yeah.
I have to touch.
Even if it goes after its range.
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah, you can
because
cast
the
the light
range is-
spell on a object within the range of the light spell, but the object that is lit will still continue to be lit past that range.
Yeah.
You can-
Oh.
That's
I
so
didn't
like
realize that.
that's what I was saying. So you could like, if you wanted to, you could take a copper piece, cast light on it, and throw it down a well or something like that as
Yeah.
like a chem light essentially, and figure out how deep something is, and that totally works.
Cool. Remember that one for
We used it
later.
in the cave system that we had with stones, just casting it on stones, tossing it down hallways.
I can only have it on one object though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, it's still good to kind of figure out where things are if you need to. Like,
So,
earlier.
I could use it as a
used this
flare.
campaign.
Yeah.
I used it on the well.
Yeah.
At the
So, yeah.
farm.
Yeah, you did. That's what happens during your watch. Nothing else out of the ordinary.
Cool.
And then the sun starts to rise.
Morning prayer. Woo.
All right, you go through your morning prayers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Morning prayer
A
time.
little yawn there.
Oh yeah. Oh.
I'm always happy to help you.
Yep. So, yeah, you go through your morning prayers, and finish them, and around the time you're done, that's when everybody starts coming up, above deck, and you start seeing things being loaded on to boat off to the offside. You start seeing some weapons and like satchels and stuff being placed on there, food and water and some crates and stuff like that, oils for lamps themselves, just things to make a encampment on this island are being loaded onto this boat. And then yeah, if there's anything else you wanted to do before you started loading everything up, you can go ahead and do that now, as a group. And
Are we
also,
gonna be able to take our mounts?
I am not
it's up to
taking my
you.
horse.
Neither am I.
Alright.
From
Then
what
I'm
you
going.
have heard,
I would take Barry though.
Gotta
what
go
you've heard,
smell on him.
there's no usable water, there's no potable water on the island from the journals that you've read, of the individual that of Mary, who was part of the second settlement effort on this island. So that's what you know there. So if you did bring mounts, you'd have to feed and water them from your own stores. You're pretty sure. But yeah, also during this time is the first time you've seen the captain since you saw her give orders and then kind of retire to her quarters. Now she's up giving orders, and she's active and outside of her quarters during this period. So yeah.
I would still bring Barry in terms of like a horse is too much, but a dog is not much change in sort of like food and water. Plus, they've got good senses, so. Plus, it gives you that extra speed that if we have to run from a
does.
creature that's really fast, you're not.
Oh no, I
harassed
was. Yeah, there
Oh.
was no mount. There was no. It was just a matter of could we take him because he's a big dog.
And yeah, but he's not as big as a human, and the boats can fit a human.
Okay.
So yeah, you can bring him. Yeah, logistically.
It's only the
it's fine.
size of one cabin boy, like. Or
One Wilhelm.
So yeah, anything else you want to do, or are we good to move on?
Does
think
the
we-
captain look a little bit like what I've heard right now the red look like? Is there any similarities there, maybe?
Give me a perception check, I guess.
Okay. That's bad, but hey.
I mean, it's 9 plus 7.
16,
It's not actually.
so.
It's in the upper range, actually.
It's below my average, though.
Like, you
I know
only
she's half-elf, but, you know.
Yeah, she's half elvish, and because you're trying to compare it to an individual that you've never you didn't hear be described even in like your folktale version of this, because it just wasn't a part of it. It was more the whole like the
Actions
grand
and stuff,
scheme.
yeah.
It was the grand scheme that was described. The times you've only heard Galifar the Red described, or you kind of know what he looks like from the masks that were being sold in Gorgon, and from like kind of hearsay at the tavern that you were staying at Gorgon, because it was a very like sailor based tavern, and when it's getting close to that day, they're talking about him, because he's kind of like a local folk hero, sticking it to the man kind of person, because nobody really likes the Silver Sand Company in Gorgon. Even people that work in the government don't necessarily like the Silver Sand Company. So what you heard of Galifar was that he was a full-blood elf, with like red hair, very long features, pretty nondescript man in general. He was like a fisherman slash tradesman,
Carpenter, maybe.
and kind of just he was just like a tradesman, working on a boat, and he owned a ship. And then when the company came in, they kind of screwed over local businesses, and he got fed up because he wasn't able to feed his family, and then he decided to, just start.
Fuck this! I'm gonna become a pirate.
He just started hitting. He got a whole bunch of people together that were doing the same boat, and just started hitting the company, and then movement started growing and growing and growing until eventually they killed him. And that's like Sedna is a half elf woman who's maybe like mid to late 20s, from what you get. It's actually kind of weird compared to her crew, because your general crew for the most part is quite older and kind of seasoned. There's the odd like cabin boy or young first like time out person, but they're in the minority of the crew. She doesn't like come off as the captain of this ship. Like she's got like dark raven black hair, but it's done in two like ponytail. I guess not a ponytail.
Pigtails.
Like pigtails, like
Yeah.
that have like red ribbons on them. They're not tied in like bows, but they're like red ribbons on these pigtails, and she's very diminutive in size, and like if you just saw her like in a T pose or like with no
If
no
you put her in a lineup
context,
with the rest of her crew, you wouldn't pick her as the captain.
no, you wouldn't. You also wouldn't pick her up as like a sailor. Like
Yeah.
other than like some of the garb, she doesn't look like a sailor or even like a particularly hard individual. But when she starts talking, giving orders, or is generally in a group, and she's actively participating, she gives off that to the crew. Like they don't cross her. Somebody seems to question what she says, and she's very
Authoritative?
authoritative. Yeah, very authoritative when it comes to them, and that's all you really. That's what you're getting from this. Physically, you have no basis. Like all you have is the equivalent of a Guy Fawkes mask. You're comparing this real person to, so
Yeah.
it doesn't really work.
She is
Yeah,
walking
yeah.
around like V for Vendetta, like.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That's
I
what
thought
you-
it might
that's
have been
what you get.
interesting.
Okay.
I thought it
but that's what you get from that role.
I like what
and-
you're thinking, Mikey. I didn't even connect that.
I thought that there
Pretty-
might be something there.
Maybe. Yeah, we might find that.
So yeah, that's what you get. Is there anything else you'd like to do while while they're getting everything ready for the morning? Because you have maybe about an hour of kind of time when they are getting boats ready, and essentially what they're doing is they're loading up boats, putting like one or two people on the boats with supplies, and they're getting it down, and they're gonna get like a third of the crew are gonna be going onto the shore.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the crew are gonna be bringing the boat in to maybe just off the shore in the little channel, so that they're within line of sight of the sun from the ship.
I'm gonna ask the captain a question.
She's in the middle of giving orders and directing things and talking with Bonla when she sees you walking. Yes.
Do you happen to have a spare spyglass at all?
A spare one, no, but you can borrow mine.
No, I was only gonna have one if I was only gonna take one if you had a spare. I was gonna throw it to my
They're-
ranger.
They're quite expensive.
What?
Yes. I was,
Your ranger?
I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna leave you two to this.
She's just like, you know what? I'm gonna let you two argue. I gotta do some shit.
Your ranger?
my ranger friend.
Watching you. Watching you.
Watching you too, friend.
I'm just standing in the corner like, why the fuck did I get involved with these weirdos? Just why?
Because you like
'Cause
the
they
money.
saved your life.
That's it. Yeah.
And you
Yeah,
like
they
the money
saved
aspect of what we were talking about.
And your first interaction with them is listening to one of them get shivved for half an hour.
Yeah. Just straight into the guts. Just over and over and over again.
By a 90-pound woman.
And it wouldn't have
Yep.
happened if they hadn't have just completely disrespected the other two in the group by leaving them back on the trail.
I didn't expect to get into a fight with a.
Says the guy who went roar into the camp as soon as he realised that we're
You
tearing.
ripped up my Bible.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so
And then you jumped
I'm
on a horse
guessing-
and rode into the main camp.
I was.
So I'm
angry.
going to assume. All right. So I'm assuming nobody else does anything with their time, since nobody's.
I mean, normal stuff. You know,
Well, no, I'm
sharpening
assuming normal
swords,
stuff.
That,
I was
that kind
meaning
of
if-
stuff.
Yeah, I was meaning if you wanted to talk to anybody or get anything else done that wasn't kind of normal
I
stuff.
think we
but-
want to press on with the challenge at hand.
So that's the challenge at hand. So that occurs then. You are in a boat with another like 2 individuals who are from the ship, a tabaxi, crewman, and a elf who are rowing, while you are all with your weapons, kind of sitting forward and keeping an eye on everything. And you're not at the head of the column of these. It's about 4 boats, but there's a you're fairly close to the front. The senior crew are in the front boat, and you round the passageway into the channel that goes into the beach, and you start going up. It's very lazily, and you just like come into this like zone of exclusion kind of thing. Like it's just there goes the wind. Now this water's now mirror still, and there's no sound from the isle. It is just maybe like a light breeze and like a creaking of a wood here and there, but nothing else.
Here we go again.
Hold on. Oh, there we go. As you keep going.
We'll hold screens in the distance.
Off in the distance, just a bird.
A
And like for the
bird.
first second, for the first second, you just nobody like it's just you all assume like oh they're just fucking with us again, and then holy shit, there's a bird.
Oh, thank God.
Holy shit.
I was gonna have to write down bird noises.
No, there's just a single crow flying. Over
Oh, don't
the,
tell me
the
it can
small-
transform into another shape.
The small island to the east, like on the other side of the canal, is just like kind of over that.
It's Liben.
Oh, no.
Shit.
Oh fuck! Can you imagine if it was fucking Liben? Just great. No, we're stuck between our
Just,
rock. and a fucking-
just dive bombs the boat. we're in.
How far away is the bird?
I mean, it's a good distance away.
Oh,
That
okay.
noise. The only reason you got that is because the noise carries far away in this area. Like there's, like it's
But
it's like a good mile off.
yeah,
like because you're
it's
yeah.
specifically going on that island, and it knows not to go on this one. That's a bad omen.
I ready my bow.
It's just kind of circling. Just doing a wide, like lazy circle. Changes it a bit, goes into a figure 8, kind of. Yeah, you just see that. It's just a bird, crow, and then
That's fucking weird.
and you go on to the beach at that point and bring up the boats, and everything starts getting unloaded. I'm just gonna gloss over that. The captain and the senior crew pick the church as the place for the major encampment on this island, and you can see the strumpet's cry anchor off of the coast, not too far out. Like it would be like if you needed to, you could swim there, like without too much trouble.
Foreshadowing.
First,
Oh,
heavy
yes.
armor says maybe not.
I mean, yeah, but then again, you also have a very high strength. So,
It's true. Yeah.
but
I don't even know if swim is a thing in this. I think it's athletics, isn't it?
yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
athletics.
athletics. Yeah. But yeah, it's not Pathfinder. There's no swim skill.
Yeah. -5 armor check penalty.
Yeah. But you see them start unloading these crates and get things set up. It takes about an hour, and they get like little barricades set up from like old carts that are being reused and kind of put in place, and they're kind of fortifying the church quite a bit. And you can also see a few individuals are now like standing where a floor used to be in the bell tower. I mean, the majority of the bell tower is now like lying on its side a little ways away, but there's like one of the floors is like still at the top of where the break point is, so they can kind of stand there, and they're like kind of like just above, like it's
Like a
just like
parapet.
that. Yeah, and they're able to look around, and they have like a couple of spears that they're kind of doing. They're keeping an eye out in like a 360 and watch, and it's getting together pretty well. And like they're closing up holes in the church and fortifying the door, everything. And after about an hour of things getting together, Bonla and the captain Sedna walks up to your group as you've been. I'm assuming you've just been kind of keeping watch as a group, making sure nothing creepy happens.
Yep.
More so than the general vibe of the creep that is this island.
Nervously making sure all the weapons are like loose in their scabbards.
the equivalent of sanding down the hammer of a
Yeah,
peacemaker
basically,
or something like that. Just like
just
make
make
sure
sure-
that thing is buttery smooth no matter what. Yeah. I don't even know
Just
that
Ryle
terminology
keeps
right,
checking
but
the tension on his bow, like.
yeah.
I pull him back to slide on a Glock, just.
What is this
But-
Glock you talk of?
It's a magical weapon.
I'd love to see a cleric. with
Is
a
it
Glock.
anything like this N4?
A cleric with a Glock. Let's play Shadowrun.
Yeah.
Or Starfinder, because you can do that. There's that class that I forget the name of it, but it has guns you can play with.
I love the fact that Mikey's just completely frozen now in that.
Blah, blah.
That's the most street I've ever seen you, Roach.
Yeah. So,
True samurai.
yeah. I'm gonna play the shit out of Cyberpunk.
I am.
basing my next,
Same, though.
I am basing my next computer upgrade around being able to play that and record it and everything. Like
Just 4K.
I have 10 months to get a new computer to get an upgraded computer, and I'm doing that. Damn it.
Well, I'm already with you on that one.
Yeah. Bonla and Sedna come up to you as a group. And Sedna steps forward and begins talking. Well, it looks like the crew's getting things together. I think it would be best if we head out early. I'd rather spend the least amount of time in the dark on this island as possible.
We are agreed, Captain.
Good. And she kind of unrolls the parchment that you saw before that has the map of the island and kind of the trail. According to this, on the southern side of this settlement, there should be a footpath that goes through the forest, and we should go west by southwest along it, and then cross a river north. You should find a lone willow tree. Past that, there should be another path that we can follow along to the foothills. And then according to this, there's going to be some sort of... It's called the Tiger's Fangs, some sort of rock structure or rock outcropping that will look like tiger's fangs. It doesn't go into detail, but that should hopefully give us a place to start.
I look to Rival and Justinia. So, you two are specialists in tracking and traveling. What do you think our projected time will be if we huff it?
Couple of days.
Give me a nature check, both of you.
Okay.
Is your favorite terrain forest? Because that might give you a bonus. I don't
To
know.
me, it'll give me a bonus, but not to you.
Yeah, but to
Well,
you, yeah, that's what I mean.
22.
I want to check that.
Yeah, no, it gives us the bonus of what is it?
I don't think you can
We
get lost, I don't think. Or...
yeah, I don't think we can get lost.
Ustenia?
Is he dead?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's not. He's dead.
Oh, he's still there. He's still there.
Nature.
He survived. He survived.
Nature check, Ustenia.
Wouldn't want to lose a Justinia. He's got the
14.
silvered longsword.
14.
He's also our god tier frontline.
True.
Yes, he
True.
is.
And don't
Uh,
forget, we couldn't have gotten lost anyway because of my natural ability.
True, yeah. But still.
You think it take you 2 to 3 days because although it's not far on the map, you're looking at this forest and it is thick,
With many seas.
overgrowth, and this is not like this is an old growth forest. This is not something that's been curated
Nope.
at all or cleared. So like it says there's going to be a footpath, but it's probably just going to be the remnants of a footpath after 25 years. So it's going to be hard to follow it.
I put
and
out one of my
it's-
axes. Because we might very well need it.
Yeah. But that's what you get. It'd be 2 to 3 days depending on exactly how
How bad the
this
terrain is.
gonna- Yeah. And by the looks of the map as well, there's a marsh somewhere deeper into the forest. Like along where you have to cross the river.
Yeah.
Nearby, it looks to be some sort of marsh markings on the map.
It does.
It's not necessarily clear, but,
But-
that's-
We might be able to skirt that to the Lone Willow.
but that's what you get from checking the map and kind of knowing the terrain as woodsmen, experienced woodsmen.
Yeah,
Well-
seems like probably 2-3 days. It'll take a bit getting through far.
Well,
Well,
I suppose we should get going.
I produced my axe. And I'm assuming everyone else here who has a weapon that they can use to clear forest.
Yeah,
Imagine.
Bonla's carrying his big fuck off axe and his
It's just big fuck off thing.
yeah, big fuck off axe, and he's
I
holding
can
that.
dual wield axes.
Ooh.
Oh,
You have two now, actually, so you can do that if you want.
I have 3 because I have a great
Oh.
axe.
Oh yeah, you have the two hand axes and the great axe. A lot of chopping potential right there, boys.
I like the idea of Ustina just having fun going through this forest like as he walks.
He's like that. He's like that Russian forest clearing thing from the last Indiana Jones film. It just goes through. Okay. So yeah, you begin to set off. What is your marching order?
I believe we can set it up on the sheet count.
You can. I just want to know: are you specifically are you changing it up at all? Because I have a marked one that I know you normally take. But I'm saying is
Well, we've got the extra characters, haven't we, with us?
Yeah, so I'm wondering if they're going to be factored in. How are you going to do them in?
I think we should. Okay.
I think we should
Ustina with his superior tracking senses should be near the front. Let's put Ustina and Big Axe Guy at the front.
Yeah.
then cleric.
Me. That's cool. Third.
Well, you are tanky as all crap as well.
And you've got a big axe, so you can take down anything they miss.
Yeah. And then who else we got? We've got the captain, the paladin.
He's not coming, remember?
Paladin's not.
Yeah,
Oh,
Redeemer's
Paladin's
not coming.
Yeah,
Okay.
Trindle's staying to be the supervisor for the.
It's just the captain and
I think
first mate.
Rivallon should go be at the rear of the column because he also has incredible senses.
Mm-hmm. Well, no,
Uh,
surely we want him in the middle, so his danger sense thing covers all of us.
Yeah, that's possible. All right.
Okay.
Just so you know, when you're around Rivallon, things get a little bit hyper.
I don't want the two non-tanky people at the back of the column is what I'm saying.
Well, we've got me, you, and the dog.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I'm the opposite of not tanky. I have like 18
Oh.
AC. I'm pretty decent.
Yeah.
All right,
well,
well, let's put-
But that's the thing. I'm saying we're the most mobile, probably, out of the group,
Yeah, that's fair.
and we'd have the captain with us.
All right.
Okay.
I guess
So,
Arwen will be at the very back.
Ustinir, big axe guy. Rivallon and Sesh. Myself, R1 captain, dog.
Okay, it's kind of a loaded back end, but I get it. All right, you begin setting off, and for like, it's not too hard going for like the first hour, as you head away from the settlement, because although it's been 25 years, like the forest hasn't reclaimed a huge amount, like in terms of like old growth trees or like older trees. It's like a lot of like yearly grass and stuff for like a good quarter mile.
So it does seem like it's been growing.
Oh yeah, because like
Not
the settlement's
dead.
overgrown in a lot of places and stuff, but it's not as much as you think it would be, like for 25 years, because in 25 years you'd expect like 25-year-old like pines and stuff to be, or like 20-year-old pines to be like in this space, like where it was probably used to be farmland, but that is not the case. Like there's just a lot of grasses and a couple of like yearlings here and there, but not the too old growth. But that gives way to the actual forest fairly soon afterwards. And with that, you begin your slog through this forest, and it is no other way to describe it but just a thicket. Like every time you take a step, it's like a 50-50 shot of whether or not you're gonna just like twist your ankle or get caught in a root or some like stickers or like a vine that's just cutting across. Like this has not been cleared or anything, and you're just like every step's another thing you have to like watch out for. And it's also like there's not like deciduous trees here. It's all evergreens on this island. So there's no like old leaves and stuff on the ground or anything like that. It's just like a lot of pine needles and like old branches that are on the ground. And like once you get to the lower end, that's when you start getting to all these like bushes, thickets, and everything. It's hell. It's green hell every single minute. But the weird thing is that even though you've been here before, you're deep into this forest, and it's really freaking you out, Rivallon. There's nothing here. Like, it is empty. You expect something. Like every like, you look up, there would be something in the tree, like a squirrel or something, but it's nothing. You're just looking around, it's just like you get a little sway of a tree from like a little bit of wind, but it's just silent and still for hours. I'm gonna need everybody to make a perception check.
Got it. Don't forget your bonus due to your preferred terrain. Rivallon.
Oof. 4.
It's an oof
4
for
or
me, Captain.
6. Oof.
How do I do
Ooh.
that?
10.
We're all so
wow.
focused on the clearing the forest. Did the
Wow.
captain and thingy get a roll to save our
Yeah,
fucking asses?
I was waiting for you to roll yours.
Jesus Christ. That was
Holy
awful.
shit, guys! The
There's a
highest
1,
roll
a
you
4,
guys
a 3,
got.
a 2, and a 10.
Doesn't
Yeah, that was
Rivallon
a
get
w-
advantage being in his favoured terrain?
Maybe.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Forest.
No, I don't.
I don't think you get
Oh, well,
advantage for that.
I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah.
I just
Hold on,
can't get
let's see
lost.
Perception's based on wisdom, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
correct.
Oh.
He's gonna sneeze.
So
I'm pretty
all-
sure most of us rolled lower than our passive perception.
My passive is almost 10 above what I rolled.
So basically,
Sedna just rolled a rolled a 1.
Oh god.
Rip.
his favorite terrain, your proficiency bonus is doubled on intelligence or wisdom checks
Oh.
This
related
counts as
to
a
your
wisdom
favorite
check.
related to your favorite terrain.
Oh, so that would be advantage. So roll one
Yeah.
more time. Just roll
Okay.
one.
Well, no. He'd get to add double.
He just
his
doubles
proficiency.
proficiency.
Oh, double. So what is so what's your proficiency?
4.
four.
So that makes me 18.
18.
Difficult terrain doesn't slow your group's travel. You can't become lost.
Holy shit, guys!
What?
Bonla just rolled a 1.
Oh my god. No.
That's what. That's 3 1s.
No, your
a
proficiency
3,
would be
2,
plus
a
3
4.
rival, so you'd be on 17.
Yeah, it'd be plus 6 instead of a plus. 3
No, because it's
for
4.
your
I've got
proficiency.
plus 4. My
No,
proficiency
but you're-
perception's plus
That's
4.
because you've got a 12 in wisdom, probably.
You've probably got a +1 on wisdom.
Yeah.
It's your proficiency bonus. Proficiency, not the bonus for the skill itself. Like if I look at this,
If you go onto
Yeah,
your character
proficiency
sheet
is
next to
plus
class,
3.
yeah. If you go to your character sheet on
Yeah,
main,
the main
next to
sheet.
class.
Stop,
on
everyone
main-
talking. Just one person.
on your main character sheet, if you
Yeah.
go to your main character sheet,
Got it?
you see to the right of Ranger 5, it says Prof.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay,
That's your
thank you.
proficiency modifier.
Right.
That's, yeah.
So
When we-
basically,
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you double that whenever you make wisdom checks in your favorite terrain,
And intelligence.
which and intelligence. So you get a +6 for intelligence and wisdom checks, and you can tell what that is if you go to like skills. You see
Yeah.
that it'll say stat, and it'll tell you what the skill is relating to that. So like animal handling is a wisdom check.
Right, yeah. Okay,
and-
so
and, yeah.
so what,
so
I
you
add
get
3 to
double
that?
That one, yes, you would. But something like nature
So
and
it's
perception,
17.
because you. Yeah,
Yeah.
you get 17 for your thing. Okay, that's good actually.
Sorry
And the
guys,
only
but I
other
was
thing-
got 3
oh.
different people talking at the same time. I couldn't tell what I was...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fair.
the only other thing that really benefits us is difficult terrain doesn't slow groups' movement. Can't become lost. Doesn't matter what he's doing, he remains alert to danger. And I don't think foraging is going to do us anything. But he
Each
can
tree
track
bark.
creatures.
That's the thing. Right?
He
I've
can
already
track
got my
creatures really well.
super bow as well, so you know.
Yeah, that's true. He's got the super bow. Okay, so So Rivallon,
Yes.
you're kind of like you're in the middle of the group walking along. You know, you're helping people as well. You're like, oh, don't go there. That's hard. Come this way. You're used to this terrain, this old growth forest, and it's helping people not slow down as much as you're helping them.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of midway through, whenever you're kind of guiding Bonla through like a thicket that he got stuck in, you hear kind of a off like 50 feet to the back right of the group. And when you look back, you see.
Did Barry
Like a-
take a perception?
Oh shit!
Did Barry take a
Take a
perception?
He
I
has
forgot.
he has advantage to hearing and smell perception as well.
Oh
All of
god,
them
I
have advantage for this.
forgot about that.
But Rivallon, you see something darting between two bushes. Like
Right.
you don't see like it's like you see motion between a bush and a bush.
Don't see what it is. Just see motion.
Just yeah, like well, it's a shape. It's a shape that you're getting. It still wasn't a very good roll.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
Okay. There's something following us. And bow's out, pointing in the direction of the bush, like a dog.
Okay, yeah, no. Mastiffs have a +1 wisdom modifier, and they get advantage on perception that rely on hearing or smell.
And they
Yeah,
have
so
a skill of perception of +3.
Yes.
So is
So
that
you
plus
can-
4 altogether?
Yes.
no,
No, it's-
perception is just a +3. So you
Oh,
you
okay.
put so you'd roll 2d20s and put the you put the modifier 3, and then 2d20, and that'll whatever the highest.
Advantage. Roll d20.
Modifier.
Oh, that's not it. Oh god, I don't know what that is. That's not right.
What's not right?
If you're typing into the modifier in the bottom left, just type in the number modifier, so 3. and
Yeah, I
then
know. I had
click
to.
click your roll key and then right click it to roll, and then you can just drop the dice.
Yeah, if you pick up the
Oh my
Oh
god!
god, that's not right.
No,
Right there.
what you do, Crimson, is you pick up the d20 and just right click it one time.
Like that.
Oh, okay. Oh, I understand. Okay.
Okay, so that's an 8 plus 3 that you got.
It's number 11. So yeah, if you in the modifier type the number and then hit advantage and then roll a dice, it will do it.
Oh right, yeah, you can just do that too. Modifier
Which is
advantage.
what I
and then-
did. So it rolled. Yeah. So I.
Wait, what?
So
so-
here's what you do. Here's what you do. I'll explain it. Okay, modifier +3. In
Right,
the bottom right in the bottom left hand. Press the advantage button.
right.
Okay, now drag and drop that d20 into the.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
There you go.
That was a
I'll
pity that
accept-
wasn't your actual roll.
Yeah, I know.
Ox. Yeah. Yeah, Barry doesn't hear anything, or he doesn't smell anything. But he definitely notices when Rivallon notices and just kind of pivots. This is a dog thing where he's looking. And what do you all do?
Well, I've called out. Something's following us, and she's got the bow ready, pointing at the second bush it was darting towards.
Do we see anything?
You're all hearing.
I'm gonna look
y'all-
up as well because we know it can climb.
Hearing. You look up. You're not seeing anything.
Look for any
Rivallon,
kind of
you-
3 lines coming
Yeah.
out of the thing, like red lines that appear on your chest or something.
Yeah.
And look for
Rivallon,
shimmers. Shimmers. It
you're-
looks kind of invisible, but it's not.
Yeah, tell Shimmer. Isaac, you're looking around. You look up. You're not noticing anything. Rivallon, you're still focusing on that bush, and there's something behind. And we're gonna go into the combat now.
Oh.
You can't be surprised, so you know something's behind me.
Yeah. Everyone should
Is it,
know that because we're within 30 feet.
Yep.
Is it,
All of
is
us
it,
now know. Whoa!
Yeah. Everybody just goes like, "Fuck."
No one can be
Yeah,
surprised.
we all kind
You're all
of-
within 30 feet. You're all safe.
I love the idea that we all kind of like Scooby Doo. Like,
Yeah.
"Ah!"
And that thing's just going,
So I'm gonna
Jesus Christ, how did he do that?
hold on a second.
just putting
Probably
it
good
out there.
purchase.
Just putting it out there. Is it advisable to get stuck into combat when we've only got 20 minutes left?
I haven't shot anything in weeks.
Incorrect.
We can probably get through one round. Or would you prefer to cliffhanger it here?
But that's what I'm putting it out there.
I will
Yeah, I
hunt
could
you all
show
down.
you where you are on the map first.
That's a good idea.
Good
Okay.
idea.
Yeah, we'll do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Let's do that.
So I'll go ahead and do that. And you can work out what you need to work
How
out.
much space upwards is there for me?
Can
It's
it
actually
be?
fairly clear above you.
Okay,
Like you're
okay.
you're in like you're on like a path that Rivallon's been able to define through some of this, so you're kind of you've got a bit of an opening.
Hmm.
Hold on
Okay.
a second.
That's
Gotta-
good to know.
Yeah.
Oh, I figured out what I did.
Just in case I need to fly away.
Yeah, just abandon us.
Hey, I get height advantage, so it's not a bad thing.
Unless one of them jumps out of the canopy at you and grabs you.
Oh my god, takes me out like a... Oh,
Just a
what
yeet.
is it? What, I Am Legend, where the zombies take
Yeah.
out the helicopter?
Yeah, just yeet. Just jumping straight out, straight
Yeah.
out, straight up buildings at it.
Was that I Am
Yeah.
Legend or World War Z?
It happened in both, but I mean,
Oh,
I Am
okay.
Legend, where his family's on the helicopter.
Oh yeah. Now I remember.
One goes for the tail, gets caught up, and the helicopter goes down, doesn't it?
I just always think of that dog, and I get sad.
Oh. Let's not all get sad at Sam, the dog from I Am Legend.
It's the only thing I really remember about that
Best
movie.
girl. Best girl. What such a good girl.
Sam was the best girl.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which
She
ending
was
to
too
I Am
pure
Legend.
for all of our hearts.
I like the
There's two
delete.
endings,
I
isn't
like the deleted one. That was or not deleted. The limited. The one that they didn't go with. Trying to say. For I Am Legend, the one that they that was the.
The original ending, and then the studio stepped in and went, "No, that's
Yeah.
far too dark
Far
and
too
depressing.
dark, yeah.
But everyone must live, or he must sacrifice himself in a glorious fashion."
Yeah.
Which
the
one?
one. The one,
one-
that didn't end with him putting a grenade, like where he, like it was,
I thought both times he pulled the grenade, just one he commits suicide, and then one he gets in that little fridge thing that's in the.
yeah, the suicide one is the original.
Yeah, yeah.
They
that's
had
what I was-
yeah. So you had these two in the front.
I quite like the fact that I don't know. I kind of like both. That's a weird one, I think. That's why I quite like both.
Who
of
was
those.
second in line?
Cleric and Ranger. Sorry, can't names. Session Rivallon.
That's all right. You never remember my name anyway.
I'm so sorry, rival.
No, it's fine. I'm not upset.
Red walks in like, why are you crying? Because Mage's an asshole.
Yeah.
Any consolation?
no.
Got a custom introduction in Call of Cthulhu.
No. See, the reason Isaac does that is because he doesn't want to lose friends. He's trying to distance himself.
Ah, yeah, that's totally it.
Don't give him a free pass, you halfling.
Don't,
You
whoa,
small boy.
leave the halfling alone, sir.
No, it's
Don't
cool.
be racist about it. How dare you bring his race into this?
So I was reading some D&D things, and they do a D&D game where all halflings are Australian.
Oh God.
They come from a land down under.
Because they all live in like holes and stuff.
Oh, that's bad.
That's a spicy one. Do all the halflings drink VB long neck?
I like the idea that there's a halfling bard with a didgeridoo, like somewhere out there.
Oh, don't give him ideas.
It's a cleric of war. Pre-battle war cry thing.
All right. got the
Halfling
map.
monk with a
No.
boomerang, like.
That's fair.
Okay.
So we now
Map
have
of
the map. By the way, I figured out why you weren't able to do like targeting on the map, and that was because I was drawing your tokens from the wrong section. So now I'm drawing the tokens from the right one, so you should be able to draw, or you should be able to target things directly from the map and token to token instead of using the
Yay.
combat track.
Oh, okay.
So,
Mine's still loading in, so I gotta wait for that. Let's see.
I quite like the combat tracker way of doing things. Still. Now I'm kind of used to it.
Bonla has over 100 HP.
Nice. We'll need it.
Senna has 78. What level are these people?
What level is the
gonna make
creature?
Sure, we're going-
Hey, everyone bar one
There
is
we go.
going before the creatures.
Mysterious creature 1 and 2. Oh no.
I
Oh,
rolled
no.
a 4. Is that even possible for me to roll a 4? Holy
Yeah.
crap!
Initiative. That's a
I
1.
rolled a 1.
Yeah.
I rolled a 1 on my initiative. Oh god.
I rolled an 11 on mine.
Wait,
So-
oh yeah, that's
So apparently, yeah, you do get the stats for your friends. But
Darwin, you poor dude.
I am fucked.
where's the
Hey,
combat
Isaac,
tracker?
you actually rolled pretty good this time.
I can't open the combat track. There it is. Hey, I did actually for one. Oh. Okay, so there is 2 of them.
Is that a natural 20?
Yes, I had a natural 20 to initiative, I think.
The most useless natural 20 you can ever get, possibly.
No.
no, you kidding me?
Oh god, no.
I mean, I got a
That is
natural 20 earlier and didn't notice something, so...
I
Yeah.
suppose not.
Okay,
That's
As
so...
important as they would be in other systems.
So yeah, for future reference next week, that way you know what you're getting into. There is a creature that you saw darting from one bush to the other, and you were looking at it, and that was being used as a distraction for the other one that was coming up behind you. And now, since you're no longer able to be surprised, we've started combat.
I'm assuming that we're also in like a difficult terrain because of the forest being so thick.
Nope.
No.
Because nope.
We're luckily in quite a clear bit.
You're in a
Alright,
clear
fair.
bit. Yeah. You're in a clear bit. Yes, that is. And now you know what you're getting into, so you should probably think about your strategies for next week. And also, you get a little bit of some knowledge about your friends, because I can't limit the knowledge about what they can do in
can
terms
you
of
not?
their. Well, I mean, you can see their HP and shit.
Oh, we can see
Jeez.
their HP, but we
Oh,
don't
we
know
can
what
see
kind of
their
HP they
HP.
are.
Dude,
Other than
Bonla
that,
has like more HP than Justinian and me.
Well, I mean, both add those 2 together and you beat all of the party's HP.
Yeah.
If you add me and Justinian together, there is an ice still between me and Bonla.
There's an
Told
Isaac
ya.
between you.
Bonla's a beast.
He's a
He's
Bonla's a
He's a
beefy son bitch.
wall of fucking muscle.
Okay,
Can't wait for him
so,
to just miss out just natural 1 after natural 1 after natural 1.
I'm still salty about those 2 natural ones. That is
okay.
fucking.
Wait, there was 3 natural 1s in that perception, and there was a 1, a 2, and a 4.
Do you know what? It's a really horrible thought now that there could be a lot of these creatures on this island.
I mean, just more of them to kill, right?
is
As
it
You don't even
possible?
know. You don't even know about horror yet, because you haven't seen any of them up close yet.
I mean, I've got a good idea now of where the bones are going.
Oh really?
making more of these some
think
bitches.
so.
Okay, where are the bones going?
We can. Yeah.
No,
more of
I'm
them.
keeping it to myself. I've got notes in my book.
Is
I'm
it
assuming they're
possible
making more of them. That's my.
to make a magical
Just-
nuke?
it's
Just turn this place to grass. Or
called
glass.
Looking for more, but.
It's called the wish spell, and sometimes
and
uh,
one of the cards, or a couple of the cards inside the deck of many
the
things.
take of many things. Yeah. Right. Anyway, join us next week for the ambush with the sunken men that are attacking. As always, thank you to Commodore. Oh, actually, he's on my. Yeah, no, he's the top left. Thank you to Commodore Roach over there for riding the campaign, and thank you for all these guys for joining me. Well, this has been Sleeping Giants D&D. We'll be back next Wednesday, 7:30 BST. Work out what that is in your time zone. And we'll see you there. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Fuck.
And
God